We are inside Labatt Memorial Park here in London. It's Intercounty Baseball League action from the Forks of the Thames, and we welcome you here to Fergie Jenkins night as the Hamilton Cardinals take on the London Majors. We're up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth. Noah Smith and Dylan Baker along with you for the ride for yet another evening, Dylan, and we've got a pretty good night on hand for you. A lot of fans in attendance, of course, to see Fergie Jenkins here, but we do have a good ball game on tap as well.
Absolutely. It's a special day for baseball here at Labatt Park as Fergie Jenkins makes his return. Of course, the National Baseball Hall of Famer, the Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer, and he spent 2 years with the London Majors in 1984 and 1985. He just threw out the ceremonial first pitch here at Labatt Park. It's going to be an awesome evening. He's already been signing autographs for fans who came early just to get his signature, and he's going to be signing more throughout the game just a little bit earlier on in the contest, and should be a very good night of baseball here at Labatt Park.
Dylan, I know a lot of people already wishing that they were able to see the ceremonial first pitch. We were unsure how everything was going to go down on field level in terms of the ceremony to start the ball game, but make sure you stay tuned in throughout the rest of the broadcast. We might have a special treat for you later on as Fergie Jenkins is in the ballpark tonight, and a good contest as the Majors get set to take on the Hamilton Cardinals. Dylan, the Majors riding what is their longest win streak of the season coming into this game.
Yeah, a lot of Majors have been very hot of late in the Intercounty Baseball League season, went 3 of 3 last weekend, went 3 of 3 the weekend before. They have won 6 in a row, and they're looking to keep that roll going here tonight at Labatt Park against the Hamilton Cardinals. They swept the weekend last weekend against Barrie, Brantford, and Hamilton. They will be looking to do the same. It's a home and home with the Hamilton Cardinals for the Majors, that is. They were in Hamilton last Sunday, a victory for London, and they are hosting the Cardinals here tonight at Labatt Park.
Majors kicking off, Dylan, what is set to be yet another busy weekend. The Majors have 4 games over the August long weekend. They'll kick things off here tonight against the Hamilton Cardinals, and they have a pair of games against the Kitchener Panthers and finish things off on Monday night here on the holiday Monday against the Brantford Red Sox. So this really an important weekend for the Majors. They've seen themselves get once again within a game of the Welland Jackfish at the top of the standings, and this weekend really could go a long way into deciding who might get the title by the end of the year.
Yeah, the Welland Jackfish have played one more game than the London Majors and sit in first place at 23-8. They're a half game up on the Majors right now. If the Majors win tonight, they will be tied for first place with the Welland Jackfish, so the Majors would certainly hope for that result here against the Cardinals. But you mentioned how big this weekend is because of the fact the Majors play 4 games in these 4 days, including a doubleheader on Sunday in Kitchener. It could go a long way to deciding who gets the pennant this season in the Intercounty Baseball League, and the Majors would love, if possible, to snag all 4, but I think 3 is probably an objective that they can shoot for. You never know with doubleheaders how it's going to go, but the Majors would love to at least take 3 of 4 this weekend.
And Dylan, with the 4 games this weekend, the Majors are going to have to go outside of their normal starting 3. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But first, let's check out the starting lineup for the visiting Hamilton Cardinals, brought to you by EatHealthyEats.ca. Dylan, a pretty good hitting lineup here, even though the Cardinals not where they want to be this season. There are some dangerous bats in this lineup. Really, you're going to specifically look in the top 4 of the Cardinals lineup.
Yeah, Tristan Osika leads things off. He's over at second base. Luis Jean is the shortstop. He bats second. Tyler Duncan's got a great bat. He's in center field today for the Hamilton Cardinals. And then Josh Niles is over at third base. We've seen him at first base this season as well. He's got a great bat. He absolutely scorched a baseball on the Cardinals' first trip to London for a home run in the first inning. Then Lane Renault, who's been around for a while. Ryan Burnside, who was a fantastic hitter for Hamilton last season, is back with the Cardinals. He's catching and batting 6th. Anthony Bonaiuto bats 7th in left field. Jeremy Veilleux is the designated hitter. And Josiah Devapalin is at first base batting 9th.
So that rounds out the starting lineup for the visiting Hamilton Cardinals. And Dylan, as we mentioned, we'll quickly take a look here at the starting pitchers in the ball game today. Fernandez is going to get the start for the Majors today. We mentioned 4 games on the weekend. They had to go outside of that normal starting 3, and he'll get the start on the bump here to kickstart the weekend.
Yeah, Fernando Fernandez gets a start for the Majors. First start of the season for Fernando. Not his first start in the Intercounty Baseball League. He started 3 games for the Guelph Royals in 2019, including one against the London Majors, where he fared very, very well. This season, he's 0-1 with a 7.29 earned run average, a 9.48 K per 9, and a 5.11 walks per 9. On the other side, it's Corbin Peters, who's making his first start in the Inter-County Baseball League today for Hamilton. First appearance of the year as well. He went to Grambling State University, and you see his stats from Grambling State right there. A 1-3 record, 758 earned run average, 13.26 strikeouts per nine. He strikes out a lot of batters, but going with that is a very high walks per nine number as well at 710.
So those are the starting pitchers in the ball game today. Fernando Fernandez out onto the mound for the London Majors, as you see there, joined by Cleveland Brownlee and Byron Reichstein. Dylan, we'll now take it to break here on Majors TV. We got the anthems coming up. First pitch on its way here from Labatt Memorial Park.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic. Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me.
We are back here on Majors TV coverage of the Inter-County Baseball League Friday night here at the Forks of the Thames in London, and the Hamilton Cardinals and London Majors set to do battle here on Majors TV. Noah Smith, Dylan Baker in the broadcast booth, and as you see, a good crowd already filling in to see Fergie Jenkins, and of course a good matchup on the field.
Yeah, a lot of Majors fans are here to get a chance to get a ball or a picture signed by Fergie Jenkins. He'll be signing autographs for the first few innings here at Labatt Park. The crowd filling in, as you see on your screen there. A pretty healthy number to check out the Majors take on the Hamilton Cardinals, continue their push for first place on the field, and be treated to a pretty special guest off the field as well.
Fernando Fernandez gets the start for the Majors on the hill in the ball game today. Looking to try and help the Majors to yet another win, riding their season high win streak into the weekend, looking to hold on to that. They've been playing some good baseball, Dylan. A couple of weeks ago, the Majors 3 losses in a row, something we haven't seen since pre-pandemic days for London, but they have turned things around. They have swept the last 2 weekends, 6 straight wins, and now heading into this weekend as well, looking to just keep on climbing up the standings.
They'd love to keep that roll going if possible here this weekend. They've got 4 games in 4 days, 3 in the last 2 of this long weekend here up in London, and so they're going to be looking to continue the success that they've had of late. Like you mentioned, 3 losses in a row. Things were looking a little bleak at that time for the Majors. We weren't sure if that was going to continue into the next weekend, but they did a good job of shaking that pretty quickly and getting right back on their game.
So Fernandez ready to go here as we get set from Labatt Park. The first pitch of the ball game across the outside corner for a strike, and we are underway here. About 10 minutes behind schedule, but not too bad considering the festivities. Fernandez ready as he grabs his sign from Mullen. Now delivers to the plate, comes right back to the fastball, and he's quickly up 0-2.
Fernando Fernandez has had a few rough outings this season for the Majors, but in his last one against the Brantford Red Sox, he was absolutely dominant, and that's going to be the Fernando Fernandez the Majors are going to hope to see. He had everything working. He was commanding his pitches very well.
Osika grounds one on third base. Going to be a tough play, and unable to come up with that one. Kraminski and an early man aboard here for the Hamilton Cardinals to start the first.
Yeah, tough play there for Gibson Kraminski coming in from third base, trying to make the play on that baseball, and just bobbled it a little bit on the way. Couldn't come up with a clean transfer. It was going to be a tough play no matter what, even if he did transfer that baseball cleanly. Just could not make the play, and there's a runner over at first base.
So Osika aboard to lead off the ball game here for Hamilton. Good way to start this thing here on a Friday night as the speedy leadoff man is aboard. Going to be a tough play for Kraminski at third base. Already ruled a hit, Dylan, to begin the ball game. Now Fernandez working with a runner on. The high leg kick delivery. This one grounded to third but foul. And he'll get ahead of this batter 0-1 the same way he started the ball game.
In the little contact we've seen so far, from the Hamilton Cardinals, the ground ball that Osika reached on and that foul ball right there. Fernandez has done a good job of ensuring that these Hamilton Cardinals hitters can't get their arms extended just yet. If he can live on that inside corner and find a good spot to work, he's going to have lots of success.
Fastball called a strike, and it's 0-2 on Jean now.
That inside corner seems to be the game plan, at least early, as Robert Mullen right there set up on that inside once again on Luis Jean, and Fernandez hit his spot perfectly.
Also gone up 0-2 on Osika before the ground ball allowed him to reach on the infield single. Here's the pitch. On the ground, second base to shovel right at short to throw to one. Plenty of time. And it is a 4-6-3 double play. Quickly 2 gone.
You'll notice a familiar face over at shortstop that we haven't seen in a little while. That is Taylor Wright. We'll talk more about him when we dive into the London Majors lineup. A great turn over there at second base, over to Wright at short, and then on to first to get 2 quick outs. 2 slowly hit ground balls so far for the Hamilton Cardinals, and that one the Majors are able to get 2 to pick up for Kraminski on the single that was a tough play towards the third base line.
First pitch, and it is across for a strike. Fernandez continuing to pound the zone early on here as Tyler Duncan steps into that left-hand batter's box for the Cardinals. Osika started things with an infield base hit, and then Fernandez rolled the double play ball on Luis Jean, and now there's 2 gone quickly here. The 0-1 delivery, able to hold up in time, is Duncan, and it's 1-1.
That is the first ball that Fernando Fernandez has thrown so far in this outing. If he's able to find the strike zone and work the plate very well, he's going to have lots of success, because the problem that Fernando runs into, and you can see that with his walks per 9 number as well, is that at times he misses quite a bit and walks a lot of batters, but so far that command has been there.
1-1, ripped down the line but foul towards the Majors bullpen.
Another one, although it was a line drive, it was kind of hit off the end of the bat into foul territory. Fernandez has done a great job of working on the corners. He's been on both corners, inside and outside, and that's been a good recipe so far for early success.
Fernandez up 1-2 here, looking to try and find the put-away pitch to get the Majors on the bats in the bottom half. Stairs in. Here's the pitch. It's outside. Good take by Duncan, and the count moves to 2-2 now.
It's a good breaking ball there from Fernando Fernandez. Not a bad pitch to come with on 1-2, trying to put Duncan away, but a great take by Tyler Duncan, not getting tempted by that breaker, laying off and ensuring that he remains in the batter's box.
Grabs his sign from Mullen once again. Here is the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. It's a strikeout to end the first for Fernando Fernandez, who has himself a nice little 1-2-3 inning. The double play ball and the strikeout get him out of it, and now the Majors will head to the bats here. This game's still scoreless at 0.
Yeah, great top of the first inning for Fernando Fernandez, and that's going to be huge for him because obviously, like we've touched on already in this ball game, this is his first start of the year. He's been only working out of the bullpen up to this point, and he's had some great outings. He's had some outings where he struggled a little bit more. If he was able to have a successful top of the first, that was going to be huge for his confidence. It shows him that he's able to do it, and he's still got it out there on the mound as a starter. Like I mentioned earlier, he did start 3 games for the Guelph Royals in 2019, but this is the first one of this season.
So the Majors will head to the bats here in the bottom of the first, and with that, we'll check out the starting lineup for the hometown London Majors, brought to you by EatHealthyEats.ca. Familiar face at the top of the lineup is Austin Wilkie. Will lead things off here for London. Jacob Newton back in the 2-hole, and then Cleveland Brownlee, the number 3 hitter, with Robert Mullen cleaning things up, Dylan. And as we move down that lineup, lots of dangerous hitters, but the Majors welcoming back Taylor Wright to the lineup tonight.
Yeah, Taylor Wright back in the lineup for the London Majors. After a brief time out of the Majors lineup, he is back in it, and a similar top 6 to what we've been seeing for the Majors. Wilkie, Newton, Brownlee, Mullen, Joseph, Reichstein, and that's such a lethal top 6. It has been all year for London, and adding Wright to that in the 7th spot just makes so much more depth for the Majors, so many big bats in this lineup that can do lots of damage. Taylor Wright, when he was here, batted .380 with a 1.166 OPS, 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in. He was a tremendous bat for the Majors. It was a tough loss when he left, but he's back now for London, and he'll be looking to continue his IBL success. Gibson Kraminski and Drew Lawrence round things out.
A dangerous London Majors lineup gets a little bit more dangerous when you add the bat of Taylor Wright back into it, hitting in the 7-hole. And now Austin Wilkie will come to the plate and get ready to lead things off here for London in the bottom half of inning number 1.
Austin Wilkie's been one of the better hitters for the Majors over the month of July. He's batting .319 now on the year. He's got 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He had his first home run of the season against these Hamilton Cardinals.
So ready to go. Here is Austin Wilkie as he steps into that right-hand batter's box. And the first pitch to him is going to be fouled back into the screen. Falls behind 0-1 here to Corbin Peters. Our first look at him this season, and the first look as his first start in the IBL. And Wilkie's going to loop this one over the head and just foul. Good effort over at first base, but unable to get that one is Josiah Devapil, and there is a 0-2 count now on Austin Wilkie.
Good job by Devapil trying to track that baseball down over at first base, but just flared a little bit too far and into foul territory. No real shot for him as he tried to track that baseball down, so Wilkie gets another life right here.
Just inches away from keeping that one fair and finding himself aboard to lead off the inning. Now he's got an 0-2 count, pitch just off the plate. Peters doesn't get the call as that one's now thrown into center. And now another one. I don't see that very often, Dylan.
Well, no, I feel like the second one was a little bit closer to the mound and could have potentially been
the
caught.
effort wasn't quite there by Peters on the mound. More importantly, they tried to get the ball back from the umpire. There's 2 balls sitting out in center field, and no one was going to get them.
No, if I'm not mistaken, this happened a little bit earlier in the year as well. I think it was Kitchener and Toronto at Christie Pitts, and I remember hearing Ryan Eakin and Thomas West talk about how the catcher for the Kitchener Panthers, I believe, whoever the Leafs were playing, just could not get the ball back to the mound for a period of time.
Wilkie rips one over to third base, and a nice snag to bring it down for out number 1.
Great play over at third base by Josh Niles, leaping up to make the grab on that one for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. And Austin Wilkie, who's batting .396 coming into this game in the month of July, nearly added on to that with that hard line drive. He hit it hard. Scorched it off the bat, but Niles was able to get up, climb the ladder, and make the play.
So one gone here to start the bottom half of the inning. As Jacob Newton digs into the batter's box to get set for his first at-bat of the night. First pitch fastball just missing off the outside portion of the plate, and the count moves to 1-0.
Talked about how Austin Wilkie has had lots of success in the month of July. Jacob Newton is making a case to be player of the month in the Intercounty Baseball League, batting well over 400. He's got 4 homers, 4 doubles, 3 triples in this month. He's been on an absolute tear, Noah.
The on-base percentage number, Dylan, as well, through the roof. In a 1-1 count now here against Peters. Looking to start the inning here for the Majors with 1 gone. Now here's the pitch. Inside, and it'll be right off his hip. So the Majors will get a base runner. It's going to be a hit batter. And Newton will be aboard here with 1 gone.
That is the 5th time Jacob Newton has been hit by a pitch this season, tying him with Austin Wilkie for 2nd on the team. Newton, a guy who, as we mentioned, gets on base quite often, and doesn't really matter how you get on base, just that you do. And Newton, who has more walks than strikeouts in this month of July, now gets hit by a pitch and stands over at first base with the heart of the order coming up.
Cleveland Brownlee will step into the batter's box here and get ready to take his first at-bat of the ball game, Dylan. Fergie Jenkins honored on the field, of course, in the pregame, and they talked about how he was named in top 100 IBL player, one other guy on that list for the Majors as well, standing at the plate here. And he's going to crush one down the line, but it's about 20 feet foul, and the count will move to 0-1.
Yeah, Cleveland also on that top 100 IBL players of all time list. We've got the good fortune of still having him in the IBL, still getting a chance to watch him. Cleveland, of course, has been around since 2010, Noah, for the London Majors, and still doing it this year, having a career season in his later time in his IBL career.
A guy that so many of us, and I know myself, you up here in the broadcast booth, we thought after Cleve got the title that would be the end of his career, but he's come back and still swinging a good bat. Is now off on the pitch is Newton, and he's in safely, well ahead of the throw down to 2. A stolen base for Jacob Newton puts him into scoring position.
Jacob Newton picked a great pitch to run on, on that last breaking ball. It curved right in there. Burnside didn't come up with it perfectly, kind of had to catch it off to the side. Missed inside and low to Cleveland Brownlee, and Newton gets into second base with a stolen base here with 1 out.
1-1 count now on the Majors' designated hitter in Cleveland Brownlee. Newton up to scoring position, and now here's the 1-1 pitch. Bottom of the zone, missing out, and 2-1 now to Cleve.
Infield in the overshift right now for the Hamilton Cardinals. As we've seen for the Barrie Baycats this season, they've done the same thing to Cleveland. They were more towards the left side of the field, though, than the Cardinals are.
Fouled straight back into the screen. Cleve got a good rip at that one, just missed it. Count moves to 2-2. Cleveland this season, 40 runs batted in so far. The Majors 30 games into this season has been on a tear to begin the year and rolling through the halfway point.
Yeah, Cleveland Brownlee, 40 runs batted in, 30 runs scored, a 1.193 OPS, just trailing Robert Mullen in that category for the London Majors. He's been fantastic all year long. 12 doubles as well for the team to go along with his 11 home runs.
Offers at that one. He'll say that he didn't go around. Surprised that he didn't at least get a check down to 2, but I don't think he's going to have much of an argument here.
Home plate umpire Sean Schaefer certainly thought that was strike 3. He thought Cleveland went around, and I think Cleveland's got the case to at least ask for an appeal. I mean, you can check with the umpire over at second base, as home plate umpire will hear it from the crowd, and that's a tough call to make from the home plate umpire's perspective. That's why you go ask for an appeal. That's why you ask your fellow umpires, did he go? And I know it's tougher to see from out at second base than it would be over at first, but I think you still got to give the appeal if it's requested.
Sean Schaefer is the home plate umpire and crew chief in the ball game tonight. Jeff Rose is at first, and Rob Companion is the third base umpire. First pitch is off the plate to Robert Mullen, missing, and the count moving to 1-0.
Mullen this season, another one of the big bats for the Majors. 10 home runs, 35 runs batted in. He's got another runner in scoring position here. 2 out, though, so he'll be looking to cash.
Peters checks back. Now the leg kick delivery. It's off the plate. Count now to 2-0 on Robert Mullen.
It looks like Peters is a little bit concerned with Jacob Newton over at second base. Every time Newton takes an extra step, Peters looked back, checked on him quite a few times. So it does look like Newton is in Peters' head a little bit.
Now the delivery again. This one missing low. Three balls, no strikes to Robert Mullen. They do have first base open against the dangerous bat of Mullen. It looks like they are pitching somewhat around him here so far. 3-0 delivery is a breaking ball. It'll miss. And Mullen will take himself a 4-pitch walk and head on down to first.
You can pitch around Robert Mullen all you want, but then you've got Starling Joseph coming up right after him, and Starling has done nothing but hit for the Majors this season, and especially lately. I think he's coming off a 15-ish game hitting streak that was snapped this past weekend, but he's been on a tear for a while for the London Majors, and he's got 2 runners on, 2 out, a great chance to score the first run of this ball game here in the first inning, as looks like second baseman Tristan Osika comes in to talk to his pitcher Corbin Peters, trying to get him to settle in here with 2 away and maybe giving him some tips here on how to attack Starling Joseph.
2 on and 2 out in the inning here for London in the bottom half of the first. And now Starling Joseph will step to the plate. Peters will check, grab his sign. Here is the leg kick and delivery. Joseph is going to hit that one in the air, out to right center field. A little bit of trouble with this one, but underneath it to make the catch and retire the side is Lane Renault. So the Majors get a couple of base runners, but they'll strand them both. And we're through an inning complete here in London. We're scoreless between the Cardinals and Majors here on Majors TV.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning, currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me.
Majors TV back here from Labatt Memorial Park. The first inning of baseball in the books on this gorgeous Friday night here in the Forest City. No score as Fernando Fernandez back out onto the mound for London, looking to have himself another good inning through the first. Dylan, just 1 hit. It was an infield single, then rolled the double play ball and got a strikeout. A pretty good start for him in the ball game.
Yeah, Fernando Fernandez with a great start to this contest for the London Majors. The left-hander, who's normally a bullpen arm for the team, settled right in after giving up a first leadoff hit, on a ground ball that wasn't hit very hard towards third base. Gibson Kraminski just had a bit of a hard time with it, trying to come up with that baseball on the run and fire a strike over to first base. He got the double play right after, well turned by Newton, Wright, and Reichstein to get a quick 2 outs to erase Osika after he reached, and then a big strikeout for Fernandez as well, getting Tyler Duncan swinging. Duncan, one of the bigger bats in this Hamilton Cardinals lineup.
So we move along here, and it goes to the top half of the second inning for the Hamilton Cardinals. A little bit of a buzz in the ballpark tonight. Of course, Fergie Jenkins in the building.
The line for autographs is still long, though. It hasn't petered out.
They have Fergie set up on the concourse level. And the line, as soon as the gates opened, Dylan, at 6 o'clock, began to grow.
Yep.
Fergie, of course, was in the ballpark earlier today. I know you had the chance to actually go on one of the Labatt Park tours with Fergie this afternoon. As this one hit on the ground, third base. Picked up. Kraminski got to come up with a strong throw. It's on the money, and it's in time to get him for the first down of the inning.
Good play there by Gibson. Kraminski, those can be tough with those in-between hops. Had to wait back, got the big hop he wanted, and fired a strike over to Byron Reichstein at first base. And Noah, you mentioned it earlier today. I had the chance to go on a Labatt Park tour with Fergie Jenkins. A huge thanks to Tourism London for setting that up, making him available to local media. And a big thanks to Matt Hiscox for allowing me to tag along on that tour today. It was very special to get a chance to go through the ballpark with Fergie as he told stories along the way, things he remembered, and some pictures of people and teams. I was able to point out some players and tell us some stories about them. It was a pretty special experience.
Swing and a miss for strike one here. Fernandez off to a pretty good start in his start on the mound. He's up 0-1 now. Pitch just missing low to Lane Renault, and it's now 1-1.
Lane Renault with 2 hits against the majors so far this season. Going to look to find a third here. Renault, a guy who does strike out a fair amount.
1-1 count for Fernandez. Here's the big leg kick. The lefty delivers. This one fouled back into the screen. And from 1-1, it goes to 1-2 here on Renault. One of 2 games in the Inter-County Baseball League tonight here in London. The other, the Barry Bay Cats, are in Brantford, just down the 401, up the 403 to take on the Red Sox. This 1-2 pitch will miss in the dirt. Good block by Mullen, and the count evens up at 2-2.
Fernando Fernandez has worked 2 innings coming into this ball game against the Hamilton Cardinals. Gave up 3 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, and a walk in that outing.
Looking for out number 2. Here is the delivery to the plate. And it's called strike 3, top of the zone there. And Fernandez gets the benefit of the doubt for the strikeout for out number 2.
Yeah, Lane Renault not a big fan of that call from home plate umpire Sean Schaefer, as that one caught the top of the strike zone according to the home plate umpire. The second batter on between the 2 teams that has not been happy with the call on strike 3. Cleveland Brownlee obviously unhappy with the check swing, and then Renault right there thought that one missed a little bit high, and he certainly had a case to make with that pitch, but called a strike nonetheless, and Fernandez will take it. He's got 2 outs very quickly here in the second inning.
Certainly looked like it came in at least at the top of the zone. There's now a strike called on the outside edge, and Fernandez gets ahead of Ryan Burnside now. Burnside batting from the left-hand batter's box. Now he'll take strike 2, and it's quickly 0-2 now for Fernando Fernandez.
Burnside going to take a bit of a walk right now around the plate. He's not too thrilled with that call, and he will gather his thoughts and get ready for the 0-2.
Here is the leg kick and delivery. This one slashed at and fouled out of play. Burnside able to get a piece of it, stays alive. Sun still peeking over top of the grandstand. Shining out towards the center field area as it sets behind the home plate area. That pitch misses upstairs 1-2. Hovering around 25 degrees at first pitch tonight. A fairly good night for baseball. We'll cool off a little bit after the sun goes down, but other than that, it doesn't get much better than this on a Friday night. Fernando Fernandez in a 1-2 count. Here is the delivery to the plate. This one hit in the air. Foul territory. Kraminski a look, but this one is about a dozen rows up into the seats and out of play.
Great effort by a fan down there, just could not come up with it on that fly ball down the left field line. You talked about how it's just a beautiful night for baseball, Noah, and we've got a new fan up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth to keep us cool. We're having a great time here on this beautiful evening.
Yeah, we're not talking about those paying fans who get their tickets at the gate. We have one of those oscillating tower fans. It is fantastic.
Fantastic. Pun intended, Noah, or not?
It's a 1-2 count, Dylan. Here's Fernandez with the leg kick and delivery, and it misses off the plate. Had about a half dozen Majors making their way towards the dugout, but they'll have to retreat back to their positions now, 2-2.
Yeah, no, I'd be hard-pressed to find somebody on the field that did not take a step towards the London Majors dugout on that one, thinking it was strike three on the outside corner. Pretty much everybody did, but the home plate umpire did not give them the call, so Fernando Fernandez has to reset out there on the mound and find the zone here, try to get the strikeout.
He'll try again, this time on 2-2. And it's hit on the ground. Second base coming over. Newton picks up the throw in time. Another good inning for the Majors here in the top half of the second. Fernandez is through 2 scoreless innings as the Majors head to the bats in the bottom half.
Great play by Jacob Newton over at second base, ranging over to his right on the slide, coming up with that baseball and firing a good throw over to Byron Reichstein at first base. One of the things that's been great to see for Fernando Fernandez is how efficient he's been through 2 innings of work. He's thrown 25 pitches, 18 of them have been strikes. He's been throwing strikes. He's been getting quick outs in against these batters, and it's been great for the Majors so far. Not too sure what the expectation is for Fernandez out there on the mound. Normally a reliever, obviously we're not too sure how far he's built up, but the more distance they can get, the better from Fernando Fernandez.
So the Majors now ready to go bat in the bottom half of the second. Getting a good start so far by Fernandez on the mound, and this game an important one for the Majors. We talked about the standings coming in to the contest, Dylan, and we'll take a look at them now here in the Intercounty Baseball League. The Majors through 30 games. Interesting to note, Dylan, the Majors, the same record last year through 30 games. That was the season at 22-8.
Yeah, a lot of Majors finished last regular season with a 22-8 record. Of course, went on to win the Intercounty Baseball League title. A great year, obviously, last year for London. They sit a half game out of first place. If they win tonight, they'll be tied for first with the Welland Jackfish at 23-8. Still some work to do in a tied contest. But like we've been mentioning all season long, it's so close right now. The Guelph Royals sit just a game and a half back of the Majors, 2 back of the Welland Jackfish for first place. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 4 out of first. The Barrie Baycats are 5 out of first. And then we see a little bit of distance created between the Baycats and the Kitchener Panthers. Kitchener 10.5 out of first place. Hamilton 17 out of first. And Brantford 21 out of first place. But the top 5 teams right now in the Intercounty Baseball League are so tight together, and I think it could really go either way. We might see some changes as the season goes along in the standings.
One team that's climbed their way up, the Guelph Royals, now just 2 games out of first place. I feel like, of course, here in London, up in the broadcast booth, we've talked a lot about the matchup between Welland and London at the top of the standings, but always a game and a half right behind them has been the Guelph Royals, a team that if they can stay coming into the final couple weeks of the season within striking distance like they are, they got a good shot at finishing near the top of the standings as well.
Absolutely, they do. I mean, there are so many teams in the Intercounty Baseball League who are right near the top of the standings. Teams, who have had success or slower starts and kind of crept up. The Welland Jackfish have been on all year long. Guelph started a little bit slow, but has really picked things up since. I believe they had a 7-game winning streak at one point that was snapped a couple of weeks ago. So it's so close right now, and it's very unpredictable.
Byron Reichstein will step to the plate and lead things off here for London in the bottom half of the second inning. Takes that first pitch from Peters low for a ball. It's 1-0 now. Missing again. So Reichstein well up in the count now at 2 balls and no strikes. Byron, a guy this year who joined the Majors late, of course, but would love to get the bat going. 2-0 delivery is swung on and missed. He's batting just .222 coming into the contest today. far cry from the MVP season we saw last year, but still possesses a dangerous bat.
Absolutely, he does. I think he just needs more swings, more reps out there in the batter's box in the Intercounty Baseball League.
Healthy cut at that one as well, but he got a piece of it, missed, and now it's 2-2.
Byron, I feel like Noah, he's just one big hit away. Once he gets that first home run out of the way for the Majors, I think he'll be right back to his regular MVP pace. And just with more swings, seeing more pitches, it's been a while since he's seen IBL caliber of pitching, and he just needs to get right back into it.
2-2, swung on and missed. It's a strikeout of Reichstein, and Peters has the first out of the inning on a punch-out.
Really good job by Corbin Peters out there on the mound for the Hamilton Cardinals, making quick work of Byron Reichstein. Fell behind him 2-0, and that's not a spot you want to get to with Byron Reichstein at the plate with his bat, the bat that he's got. But a great job by the righty of attacking him. Good fastballs as well. Ended up punching him out on a high fastball.
So now, Dylan, the return of Taylor Wright to the London Majors batting order here as he gets his first swing since rejoining the club. Was one of the guys at the start of this season who was hitting the cover off the baseball. Part of the reason why he got the call and got the opportunity to join the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League, where he hit well. Not nearly the numbers he was hitting here in London up in the Frontier League, but got his opportunities. Curveball dropped on the outside corner, doesn't get the called strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Taylor Wright spent some time with Ottawa in the Frontier League, was very successful there. Like you mentioned, he hit pretty well and just wanted to come back to London, and the Majors will absolutely take his bat back in the lineup for the stretch run here.
Pitch called to strike, went back with the fastball in the outside corner. And the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes here on Taylor Wright. Peters grabs his sign. Here's the delivery, and it's hit right back up the middle. Taylor Wright doesn't waste any time, and he gets the Majors on the board with their first hit of the ball game.
Yeah, Taylor Wright gets the Majors into the hit column with a laser right back up the middle. Corbin Peters reached out, tried to make the grab on that one, just came up empty as he tried to get a glove on that baseball. Goes right into center field. Tyler Duncan came up with it, tossed it in to hold Wright to a single, but that's kind of what we've seen from Taylor Wright. He fell behind 1 and 2. He looked at the first 3 pitches. He didn't swing at any of them, wanted to see what Peters had to offer, and then eventually with 2 strikes, he was able to get a base hit, and now he stands over at first base with 1 out.
Bottom of the Majors order, and you don't get any breaks in this lineup as now Gibson Kreminski comes to the plate. First pitch fastball off the outside edge. With Wright aboard, it's Kreminski and then Lawrence before turning things over to the top of the London lineup. And the runner's off. Swinging at the plate is Kreminski as it's fouled out of play. The hit and run was on.
Not a bad guy to do that with. Gibson Kreminski, good contact hitter. And Kreminski, a guy that we've seen up in the 6th spot in the lineup for the London Majors. We've seen him at the top of the order, batting 8th now because of the return of Taylor Wright, because Byron Reichstein is in the lineup tonight. Just so many good bats for the Majors that Kreminski ends up getting bumped down to the 8th spot.
Count at 1-1 now after the field hit and run. And Peters will check on the runner at first in Taylor Wright. Wright actually got a very good jump on that play, Dylan, and had it not been a hit and run, I think he would have had second base stolen.
Yeah, he was right on Corbin Peters, and just a great jump for Taylor Wright over at first base.
1-1, runner goes again. Holding off at the plate, Kreminski, the throw down, not in time. And now Wright's going to take off for third, and he'll be in there standing up as the ball gets into center field. A stolen base and then a heads-up play to move up the extra 90 feet for Taylor Wright, who's now in scoring position.
Taylor Wright making an impact right away in his first trip to the plate, reaching with a line drive single, stealing second base. Throw gets into center field. Very aware for Taylor Wright. A lot of guys will hesitate. A lot of guys will wait out there just to make sure it went into center field. Wright saw that it did. Sprints over to third base. Now he stands 90 feet away from scoring a run, using all the tools that he's got in his toolbox to help the Majors put some runs on the scoreboard.
Peters, a 2-1 count now on Gibson Kreminski. Now the curveball missing outside. Count now at 3-1 here.
Through 30 pitches in this ball game, Corbin Peters has only thrown 15 strikes. 50% of his pitches have been strikes. You'd like for that number to be significantly higher if you're going to have success in this ball game. Has missed quite a bit, but that's something we mentioned off the top of the pregame show.
This ball out to center field. Underneath it, making the catch, Duncan, tagging from third. And in plenty of time is Taylor Wright, and the Majors on the board, 1-0 on the sacrifice fly.
The Majors strike first in this contest. Gibson Kreminski, a hard line drive into center field. Tyler Duncan doing a good job tracking that baseball out in center. Pretty strong throw from the center fielder into the plate, but with Wright's speed, he was able to come in to score. And the bottom of the order doing damage, though there really isn't a bottom of the order in this Majors lineup. Not your typical bottom of the order where some of your younger hitters or less successful hitters will hit. I mean, top to bottom, this team can flat out rake, and they can put runs on the scoreboard. That's what we've seen just now.
So now Drew Lawrence here, the 9-hitter for London in the order tonight. He's going to rip one, but it's going to be a foul ball down the right field line and out of play. Majors doing a good job. They have been all season long. Sure, they're a team that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, Dylan, but they're also good at manufacturing runs, and you saw a good case of it there. The steal, of course, moves the runner up to second. Then the throw into center field moves him up to third, and because of that, a fly ball to center can score the run.
Yeah, the Majors can manufacture runs, and they can also play the long ball game, as we've seen so many times this year. Taylor Wright right there, a great guy who executed the small ball, but can also hit the ball out of the ballpark at any given at-bat.
Count now at 2 balls and a strike. Two gone here in the inning, as Lawrence looks to try and kickstart the rally here for the Majors. Pitch catches the bottom of the zone. Now count at 2-2.
Drew Lawrence not a fan of that call. Thought it missed a little bit low. A few guys have been in disagreement with the home plate umpire so far in this contest, but now Lawrence has to protect the plate in a 2-2 count, trying to keep this inning alive, turn things over to the top of the order if he can.
Lawrence shortens up a little bit on the bat here. The 2-2 delivery. Curveball just off the outside edge. Pretty good movement on that pitch from Peters, but he doesn't get the call, doesn't get Lawrence to bite, and the count now at 2-2.
A really good take there by Drew Lawrence, as that one missed the outside corner, and Peters will have to try to get him again.
Peters steps off there, didn't like how that one was shaping up. So he'll grab another sign here from the catcher and get ready to battle on 2-2. Here's the pitch to the plate, and that one will miss. It is a walk. Pardon me, that was a full count. So Lawrence will take the walk here with 2 outs and find himself aboard to turn the lineup over.
Pretty similar pitch to the one that made it a 2-2 count on Drew Lawrence. Looked like it was kind of in the same spot near the bottom of the strike zone, but that one doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Scheffler. So now Drew Lawrence stands over at first base. Lawrence with blazing speed is definitely a threat to run, as Austin Wilkie digs into the batter's box for the Majors. If you'll recall, in his first at-bat, Wilkie rocketed a baseball to third base. Josh Niles made a tremendous play over there.
Lawrence at first. He's got speed as well. Not going on the first pitch. That's upstairs to Austin Wilkie. And it begins to count 1-0. Peters here, bottom of the second inning. He's got 2 outs. The Majors 1 run across here. Lawrence is going to take off, swing and a miss at the plate. The throw down to 2, not nearly in time to get Drew Lawrence, who's in there with a stolen base and into scoring position.
As I mentioned, Drew Lawrence a threat to run, and right there he takes off, steals second. With the speed that he's got, it's so tough to throw him out because if he gets a good jump, it's pretty much over for the catcher and pitcher. As right there, Lawrence gets into second base, stands in scoring position now.
One and one count now here on Austin Wilkie. Ripped back into the screen, just missing that 1-1 pitch, and falls behind in the count.
See a smile on the face of Austin Wilkie. He knows he was right on that baseball and just could not put it in play. Lined it straight back towards the screen. When you see a guy line one right back at the screen like that, you know he's right on it.
Corbin Peters in a 1-2 count, looking to get the Cardinals out of the inning. And now time called. I think that was by Austin Wilkie at the plate. Didn't like how long things were taking there.
I think Peters was worried about Drew Lawrence over at second base. Lawrence got a big lead and was taking a few steps out there trying to distract the pitcher, so he was looking to vary his timing, and Wilkie said that's too much time.
1-2, Lawrence takes off again. Pitch low, throw down to 3, and safely into third base is Drew Lawrence. Another stolen base.
Pretty close play over there at third base, and the throw from the catcher Ryan Burnside nearly had Drew Lawrence. He didn't get a great jump on that one because Peters worked pretty quickly, came set, and then immediately went to the plate. The timing was just a little bit off. Lawrence coming in with so much speed, so much force on that dive that he knocked Josh Niles over, gets in there safely. So Lawrence walks and then steals second, steals third. It's what he can do with that speed, now 90 feet away with 2 out.
2-2 pitch. That one bounced to the plate, picked out of the dirt. And the count now moves to full at 3-2. Dylan, there's good speed, there's good runners, and then sometimes you just don't know when they're going to come. And that was the case right there with Drew Lawrence. 1-2 pitch, you don't often think a guy's going to swipe third with 2 gone. It's a 3-2 count now here as Peters, the leg kick and delivery. This one fouled off at the plate by Wilkie. So we'll redo the 3-2 pitch once more.
Just back to that thought on Drew Lawrence. No, what's the old saying? You never want to make the first or third out at third base. And Drew Lawrence taking a risk there, trying to steal third base. And if that pitch wasn't in the dirt, they might have had a shot at getting him because it's a pretty strong throw from Burnside behind the dish. But he's in there safely with a stolen bag. And now he puts himself in a really good spot to potentially score the Majors' second run if Wilkie can get a base hit here.
Ready for another 3-2 pitch. Fouled back into the screen again. So we'll get another chance at it. It really is a gamble, Dylan, when you're trying to steal on that pitch with 2 outs in the inning. At 1-2, you're kind of hoping that Peters throws an off-speed pitch low in the zone, looking for the strikeout with 2 outs, right? And with that, you can also have a fastball up in the zone, which then becomes a very easy pitch for the catcher to throw on.
Absolutely, a lot of different possibilities, and that could lead to some tough outs.
Hit on the ground over to third base. Going to be a tough play. Wilkie can run, but the throw in time and on the money to retire the Majors here in the bottom of the second inning. But London picks up a run on the sacrifice fly. Taylor Wright comes in to score for the Majors. And it's a 1-0 lead here at Labatt Park through 2 innings complete. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors. London, Ontario here as we welcome you back to Majors TV coverage of the Intercounty Baseball League. A good shot there at the government buildings here in downtown. It is a good crowd and a good night for baseball here on this Friday evening. The Majors out in front to a 1-0 lead over the visiting Hamilton Cardinals through 2 complete here at the ballpark. And Fernando Fernandez back out onto the mound for London. He's through 2 innings of work so far, and he's looked really good on the mound. Just 1 hit. It was an infield single to Osika, the leadoff man in the first. And since then, he's settled down, a double play ball, a strikeout, and then a very clean top half of the second inning. So Fernandez ready behind the mound as we get ready to go here in the top half of the third inning. Cardinals now trailing a run after the Majors scored 1 in the bottom half of the second. Here is Fernandez, his first pitch delivery. That one's going to miss outside, and the count moves to 1-0. Majors scored a run in the bottom half of the second. They also just have 1 hit so far in the ball game. Anthony Buonaiuto at the plate now for Hamilton as he takes that fastball across the zone for a strike, and it evens things up at 1-1. Buonaiuto, the 7-hitter. 7-8-9 due up in the inning for Hamilton here in the top of the third. 1-1. Popped up on the infield. Right is underneath it, edge of the grass, now back onto the infield dirt, and he'll retire Buonaiuto with a pop-up to start the inning here. A quick first out for Fernando Fernandez on the mound here for the Majors. So Veilleux will come to the plate now. Got to try and get things started for the Cardinals in the inning after the quick pop out to begin things off the bat of Buonaiuto. The first pitch from Fernandez called a strike. He gets ahead 0-1. Fernandez, a lot of strikes. He's just been pounding the zone so far in his start. All around the strike zone. That one, although missing, didn't miss by a whole lot. Moves the count to 1-1. Another look here. Fernandez grabs his sign. Here's the delivery. This one hit out in the air. Shallow center field. Coming on is Austin Wilkie. Takes no more than a couple of steps, and he's underneath it to make the catch and retire Veilleux for out number 2 here on the top of the third. So a fantastic start to the inning once again here for Fernando Fernandez. This one a fly out to center field has been keeping the Cardinals to relatively soft contact so far for the first 2 2/3 in his start. Here is the leg kick delivery to the plate. That one just missing inside here to Josiah Devapilin. Devapilin, the 9-hitter in the order here for Hamilton. Here is the 1-0 delivery. On the ground, shortstop, right. Picks it up. Strong throw across the diamond in time. And it is another 1-2-3 inning for Fernando Fernandez here in the top of the third to get the Majors back onto the bats.
Fernando Fernandez had lots of success so far in this ball game, retiring the first 9 in order. Gave up that 1 hit, but it was erased on the double play ball. He's been fantastic for the Majors so far. Everything they could have asked for up to this point. Has done a great job on the mound for London. I mean, you know, you're never really sure what to expect when you have to have a spot starter, but Fernandez has done his job and more in this contest.
1-0 the Majors lead here after 2.5 innings at the ballpark. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all the London Majors social media channels. We are on just about all of them, Dylan.
Are there any more? TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at London Majors?
I think we're on all the ones that most people are on. And if we're missing one, hey, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to.
We love to engage with the fans wherever you are engaging with your friends on. And, of course, if you haven't already, follow us and subscribe here on the London Majors YouTube channel, of course, where you're watching this one and tuning in. Another gorgeous night for baseball coverage here in London.
Just a gorgeous night. I mean, you mentioned it right there, Noah, the sunset on the city skyline. It's fantastic. Just quite the sight to see. I mean, Fergie Jenkins being treated to a good ball game so far, and just a beautiful, beautiful night for baseball.
Dylan, we haven't want to put the word in the air too much yet. Just we know how busy Fergie's schedule is, but we are expecting him to join us here in the broadcast booth shortly. So if you're tuned in and thinking you might be going out for a walk soon, maybe sit down and wait another inning or two here.
Yeah, wait a little bit longer just to see if maybe you get a chance to hear from Fergie Jenkins up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth. We're hopeful, like you mentioned, Fergie's such a busy guy, and I know there are a lot of people waiting for autographs right now, so we're hoping to get Fergie very soon, but we'll see up here in the booth.
Corbin Peters back out on the mound here for the Cardinals in the bottom half of the third. He's actually had a fairly good first 2 innings on the mound for Hamilton to start the ball game. Just 1 hit for the Majors so far. 1 run across the board. That came on a sacrifice fly. The biggest threat the Majors have had so far has been the stolen base.
Absolutely. The 2 stolen bases from Drew Lawrence, the stolen base from Taylor Wright as he moved up to third on the air. 3 stolen bases in the second inning alone for the Majors. They've clearly picked up on something from Corbin Peters, and they feel they can run on it. Taylor Wright also tried to steal on the hit and run with Gibson Kraminski at the plate. That was fouled off by Kraminski, so could not move up. 4 steal attempts. 4 stolen bases so far in this contest.
Newton had one in the first inning as well.
Yeah, he did.
So the Majors, obviously, like you said, they've picked up on something out there where they feel like they can run on the Cardinals' defense, and they've done so successfully 4 times in the first 2 innings. And to lead us off here in the bottom of the third is Jacob Newton.
Newton got hit by a pitch in the first inning for the Majors, the first base runner of the ball game for London. As we just mentioned, stole a bag in that trip around the bases.
Curveball slipped out of the hand of Peters there. Count moves to 1-1 on Newton. Newton out to left field. Guanayuto underneath it, and he'll make the catch. Giving a pretty good ride off the bat of Newton the other way, but he's retired for out number 1.
Yeah, Jacob Newton kind of just slapped that baseball the other way. It looked like it was near the end of the bat, but still got a big piece of it. Drove it to left field, and Guanayuto had a ways to run to make that play, but was able to come up with it and get the first out of the bottom of the third.
That'll bring up Cleveland Brownlee here with 1 gone in the inning. Brownlee retired on strikes his first time around. Takes that fastball across the zone for a strike to begin this at-bat. If you look back to that first inning, Dylan, he was called on a swinging strike 3. Cleve not happy with the call.
Yeah, I think he would have been able to swallow it a little more if he was granted the appeal that he was looking for, but he was not by the home plate umpire, which I think frustrated him further.
Swings at this one, and the count moves to 0-2 on Brownlee. Peters looking to try and get Brownlee for the second time already in the ball game. Robert Mullins stands on deck. Here is the 0-2 delivery. That one, an off-speed pitch well outside. Burnside couldn't even pick that one up himself, and the count moves to 1-2.
Yeah, breaking ball there from Peters. It looked like that just got away and went right through the wickets of Ryan Burnside. It was well outside, did not get Cleveland Brownlee to chase.
Brownlee now fouled off as he's able to stay on that one. Still a 1-2 count here on the Majors' designated hitter in Cleveland Brownlee. As Peters grabs his sign from Burnside. Here is the 1-2 delivery. Fastball off the plate again. Second time Burnside's had trouble catching a 2-strike pitch from Peters, and the count moves to 2-2.
It's the first time that they're working together in game action. We're not sure if they've worked together at practices or in bullpens before, but they're certainly trying to get on the same page, and Burnside trying to get a gauge for what Peters' stuff looks like.
Brownlee crushes one into the left center field gap. That one's going to roll and stop in the long grass. Brownlee will go no further than first base. He ripped it, but it will be a one-out single here for Cleveland Brownlee.
Yeah, Cleveland Brownlee had the shift playing on him with Niles, John, and Osika on the left side of the infield, but hit it right between the shortstop and second baseman, scorched it into left center field. Bonaiuto was there to pick up that baseball, hold Cleveland Brownlee to just a single. If Luis Jean is playing normal depth, shaded up the middle like he normally would be, there's a possibility he makes that play. It was going to be tough for sure, but Cleveland Brownlee rocketed that one into left center field for a base hit.
Peters ready here as he faces Robert Mullen. Stayed away from him the last time up, Dylan. That, of course, was when they had a base open at first. Now they almost kind of have to come at Robert Mullen here in this at-bat. You can be careful. You can work around the edges, but as that one's called a strike, you do have to work at him here.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. And the one thing that Robert Mullen is susceptible to, he doesn't strike out very much, but at times he will ground into the double play. If you're able to induce weak contact on a ground ball, there's a good chance you turn two with Brownlee running over at first base. He's not a threat to run over there. You're not expecting him to steal. It would have to be a pretty huge thing that the Majors have picked up on for Cleveland Brownlee to be able to pick up 90 feet via the stolen base. So there's a good chance that the Cardinals are able to turn two if Mullen puts a ball on the ground. And if you're Peters out there on the mound, you got to be shooting for that.
Curveball called a strike on the outside edge. Peters with a very good pitch to Robert Mullen there, and now he's up 1-2.
That was a great breaking ball there from Corbin Peters out there on the mound. Just dropped in on the outside corner. Mullen took it, now behind in the count 1-2.
Brownlee a little stutter step at first base. Catches the eye of Peters. Now he comes to the plate. Mullen fouls that one off down the third base line.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that Robert Mullen didn't call time on that last sequence there, because Cleveland Brownlee was dancing over at first base and it was in the head of Corbin Peters a little bit. He held onto that baseball for a very long time, but eventually came to the plate. Mullen able to foul that one off and stay alive.
Peters checks. Now he comes to the plate. Off speed in the dirt, blocked by Mullen. Count moves to 2-2 now here on the Majors catcher. Still taking his time. No time called. Now Mullen rips one out to center field. On a run, out to center, and it's off the base of the wall in center field. Brownlee's going to hustle around second. He'll get into third base, and Robert Mullen standing up with a one-out double off the base of the wall in center.
That just speaks to the kind of hitter that Robert Mullen is at the plate. Like I mentioned, does not strike out very often. Right there, had a 2-strike count up against him and was able to line that ball to deep center field up against the center field fence for a double. Cleveland Brownlee moves up to third base. Brownlee likely would have scored if he was off the bat, but because there's only one out, he had to wait to make sure that ball got down. It did, got to the warning track, and Brownlee gets to third.
So Brownlee, a single with one out, and then Robert Mullen a long double off the base of the wall in center. Back-to-back hits now have the Majors with a pair of runners in scoring position. Still just one gone here in the inning. And now Starling Joseph, it doesn't get any easier for Corbin Peters on the mound.
Oh, this is how dangerous that London Majors lineup is. Starling Joseph coming up now with 2 runners in scoring position. Then he'll be followed by Byron Reichstein and Taylor Wright if it gets that far in this inning. A lot of guys who can drive runs home in a hurry.
Popped up, foul territory, and that one's going to have enough to get well out of play. So it's just a strike on the board for Peters.
Starling Joseph took a violent swing at that baseball, was looking to do some damage and put another 3 runs up on the scoreboard for the Majors with one swing of the bat, just did foul it off there.
Grabs his sign from the catcher Burnside. 1-0 misses, or 0-1 misses outside to move the count to 1-1.
Joseph 0 for 1 in the ball game up to this point. Flew out to right field to end the first inning. Lane Renault shifted over a little bit to his right, to make the grab.
Joseph stares in. Takes the pitch. It's a curveball, just low. Misses the bottom of the zone. And now falling behind in the count is Peters.
Tough take there for Starling Joseph at the plate. Not an easy pitch to lay off of, but he was able to ensure that he didn't swing at that baseball and now has a 2-1 count.
Hit into center field. Brownlee comes in to score. Robert Mullen right behind him. They won't have a play, and Starling Joseph makes it a 3-0 Majors lead.
Starling Joseph lined that baseball right back up the middle, and right away you were thinking 2 runs could score. Not a ton of speed on the base paths, though, in Mullen and Brownlee. But Casey David Pullum waved Robert Mullen home on that line drive into center field. Tyler Duncan didn't really approach that baseball looking like he was going to come up to throw. He was trying to keep it in front of him at all costs and ensure nothing got away. So it allows 2 runs to come in to score, and the Majors lead 3-0 as we get a mound visit here.
A mound visit and some action down in the Hamilton bullpen as well. As a righty begins to throw, as Peters runs into a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, the entire Hamilton Cardinals infield coming in as well to talk to their starting pitcher, trying to calm him down and trying to refocus him for the next at-bat, as you will have to deal with Byron Reichstein, who comes into the batter's box. You mentioned there's a righty down in that Hamilton Cardinals bullpen. We'll try to get you who that is as soon as we can figure it out ourselves. But with the struggles that Peters has run into in the previous 2 innings, including this one, after the start he got off to in the first, pretty good start in the first inning. 2 guys got on, but aside from that, it was no real trouble for Peters. The second he allowed 1 run and now has allowed 2 so far. Throw over to first.
And did they get him, Dylan? They did. They got Starling Joseph over at first base on the pickoff move.
Wow.
Quick move there from Peters on the mound. Caught all of us up here in the booth off guard as well. Not expecting that one so quick. And now Starling Joseph is out for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, everybody up here was caught off guard, and I think so was Starling Joseph. Nobody expected it so quickly after that last base hit, and it results in the second out.
First pitch to Reichstein is going to be fouled off and out of play. And now the count moves to 0-1. Peters looking to get through the inning here for Hamilton, if he can do so after the pickoff move to get Starling Joseph. They'll keep the Cardinals in a much better spot, at least, moving forward. Delivery to the plate is going to miss low. A ball and a strike here on Reichstein. 2 gone in the inning here as the Majors have put up 2 runs here so far in the bottom of the 3rd. And that one's going to miss low to Reichstein.
Byron patient at the plate right now as He takes that one to make it a 2-1 count and moves into a good hitters count now for the Majors with 2 away.
Peters looking to get the Cardinals out of the inning. Pitch to the plate, just missing low to Reichstein, and the count moves to 3-1.
Byron doing a good job laying off some tough pitches. He's been all around the strike zone, Peters has, but has yet to find it, aside from that one pitch to Byron that has him in the count.
Reichstein, a swing on the 3-1 pitch, fouls it back to the screen. And now a big full count pitch coming here for Peters with 2 gone.
A little bit of late break on that pitch from Corbin Peters as it got inside on Byron Reichstein, who just did get a piece to stay alive. Count moves to full now with 2 out.
Grabbing his sign, Peters' delivery, and it'll miss low. Reichstein will take the 2-out walk, and he'll be aboard for the Majors.
One of the things Byron Reichstein has done since his return to the team, though he has struggled at times at the plate, he's always drawn the walks. He's been very patient since he made his return, and once again gets on base. Taylor Wright coming up for the Majors. Still got guys who can do damage in this Majors lineup due up, and Wright, who made an impact immediately with a line drive single. It was the first Majors hit of the ball game. Swiped second base, moved up to third on the air, and scored the first run of the sacrifice fly.
Takes that first pitch at the bottom of the zone for a strike, and you could see right there, Dylan, asking if that's about as low as the zone is going to go.
I think he's going to hope that it's as low as it's going to go, because that looked like it was a little bit low on Taylor Wright, but Peters gets the benefit of the doubt with a strike call.
That one's going to miss low from Roberts, so the count now evened up at 1-1. Majors 3 runs on 4 hits so far in the ball game. 3 of those 4 coming right here in the bottom of the 3rd. And now Wright crushes one out to center field. Giving it a run is Duncan, and makes the catch up against the wall. Wright almost had extra bases with 2 gone, but the Majors are holding it just to 2. Here in the bottom of the 3rd on Majors TV, the Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins will join us when we're back here on Majors TV.
Capturing emotion. Back here on Majors TV, coverage of the Intercounty Baseball League, and we welcome you back up here to the Game Day London broadcast booth. And as promised, joined by Fergie Jenkins, who's kind enough to come up to the broadcast booth and join us for the 4th inning. Fergie, first of all, it's a pleasure to get to have you up here in the booth and to get to see you back here at Labatt Park.
Oh, it's good to come back, yeah. I haven't been back to London for a long time. You know, I have a daughter that lives in Binbrook and 2 daughters live in Chatham. When I fly into Detroit, get a rental car, I drive right by London lots of times. But it's good to come back.
Fergie, what kind of memories does this park bring back for you? Obviously, you mentioned it's your first time back in a little while. What do you think of when you come to Labatt Park?
Well, baseball's always been I think an interest that people really enjoyed here in the London area. And inter-county was always pretty big. And when I joined the team in '84, I said, come here and have a little fun. And then Art Needy wanted me to play first base, and he wanted me to pitch on certain days. And I said, hey, fine. If we can donate money to cancer research and the CNIB, that's fine with me. You don't have to pay me. But I always had a lot of fun. But the baseball, I think in this area, London, they have the London Knights and hockey, right?
Yeah, the OHL, yeah.
And then you have the majors here. I'm not sure if you have another. Do you have a soccer team here? No?
FC London?
FC London, yeah. There's a couple soccer programs. There's the London Lightning in the National Basketball League. And,
okay.
London, a big sports city, and getting to come back and play for London. Of course, after a long Major League career, Fergie, and a glorious Major League career, I'm sure having fun was nice to come back, but giving back to a community that you grew up so close to, I imagine, was also part of coming back and playing for the majors in '84 and then parts of '85 as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I enjoy putting the uniform on and being a little kid again and playing. But the nice thing about it is you try to accomplish a few things, even though a lot of these players are 10, 15 years younger than me. I was like the grandpa of the league. But it was fun to do. Play here and enjoy yourself. But the nice thing about it was close. It's only an hour away. So when I had to leave the farm in Blenheim, get on Highway 401 and come in, it was a pretty good drive. But there were a couple nights that after winning ball games, I'd sit around and have a few pops, and I'd say to myself, I don't know if I can make it or not. But I was always good at it. I brought a lot of friends a lot of times with me, so they'd help me drive. Always a lot of fun.
You mentioned that some of the proceeds when you were here went to cancer research. It was a 60-40 split, as we heard about in a Game Day London article written earlier this week. I got to hear a little bit about it on the tour earlier today that we did around Labatt Park. Tell our viewers at home why it was so important to you to give back to cancer research.
Well, my mother died of cancer, she got sick in 1968, died in 1970, but she had contracted glaucoma at a young age, at the age of like 22, 23. And I think my dad knew that she had glaucoma. My dad came here in 1938, played with the Chatham Colored All-Stars, and then they got married in 1940, and I was born in 42. So whenever the Kencha Club or JC's had an outing to deal with the CNIB, I always took my time to help my mom when I was younger. And then when I signed a pro contract, I always came home to make sure if I was doing something for a charity, I always wanted those two charities to be involved.
Awesome.
Majors with an out there on the fly out to start the top half of the fourth inning. Fergie, when you came back into the IBL in 1984, it came after a Major League career. It was a nice diving stab at shortstop and the throw across the diamond in time to get him for the second out.
Great play over there at shortstop by Taylor Wright, diving to his right, making a great backhand stab at that baseball and firing a strike over to first to get the second out of the fourth.
As a pitcher, Fergie, how nice is that, getting that kind of defense behind you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the Cub players that I had Glenn Beckard, and I had Kessinger at shortstop, who was a pretty good catcher. I had Ron Sano, third, Ernie Banks at first. And then when I went to Texas, I had Toby Hara, who was a great infielder, Buddy Bell, Lenny Randall. Some of these guys were really good, and Hargrove were really good fielders. Then I went to Boston. I had a real good infield, Hobson and Burleson. I think I had Denny Doyle, George Scott at first base. So, infield were a big plus for me because of the fact that defense. I was a ground ball pitcher from time to time. So if I had a lot of ground balls, these guys put that glove, boom, got it, throw to first. I used to tell myself, thank you. Thank you. And double play combination, 6-4-3 or 5-4-3, get out of an inning, which was outstanding.
Now, Fergie, a lot of the pitchers we see now are such great athletes all around. You were a great athlete when you were playing. You played basketball, you played hockey as well, I hear. So tell me a little bit about how important it was for you to play other sports as well, not just baseball, but kind of play around the sports spectrum?
I just think that the other sports I play, I even ran track in high school. So, keeping your body in good shape. But the hockey part of it was all balance. And I was a defenseman. I didn't do a lot of stick handling, a lot of scoring. The odd time I might score a couple of goals or get a couple of assists. But the hand-eye coordination you use in basketball, baseball, and hockey. And in basketball was running up and down the court. I had a lot of endurance, for fast breaks, things like that. And I was a pretty good shot in high school. And then I played the Globetrotters. And I told them, I said, when I worked out with Meadowlark and Curly and a bunch of the guys, I said, guys, hey, just give me the ball. I'll dribble, get it close, and that 17-foot jump shot I can handle. I wasn't like a Curry throwing a 30-footer up there. Three-point shot was not in existence when I played, but we always try to get the ball in close and then push it off into the center guy, or if I got a good bounce pass and got a layup, fine. But I was a fast break guy in high school, and I enjoyed that part of it.
Those mid-range jump shots always important.
Oh yeah,
undervalued. I think.
I mean, if you can hit a 17 or an 18-foot jump shot consistently, or a bank shot, you're going to score, and you can turn the game around, especially with being consistent, not missing that. I think that's the easy shot. It's almost like a free throw.
Fergie, you mentioned how you play a bunch of sports. Why was baseball the one that you elected to go with?
The area scout Gene DeJura knew before I did that pitching was going to probably be my best position. I always told him I was a good first baseman. I could hit. I was a decent skater, decent basketball player, but he knew before I did that I was going to probably be a better pitcher than the other three sports or two sports. I played a lot of volleyball too in high school, but
you could do it all. For
I was going to say.
It was nice to get on a prep team, get on that particular sport and play. Ran track, played volleyball. I didn't do a lot of soccer, but volleyball was a good sport because I could jump and had a lot of killer shots in volleyball. But that was the fun part of it, And if people knew that you were a good athlete, they'd want to have you on your team. So I worked hard to tell people I could perform.
Fernandez ready with a 1-2 delivery to the plate here. And that one will miss. Cardinals aboard here in the top of the fourth. If you are joining us, the Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins up in the Game Day London broadcast booth with myself and Dylan Baker talking a little bit about his career and life growing up in Chatham. And let's talk a little bit about getting that call, getting that signing with the Phillies and then getting up to the major leagues. How special was that for not only just you, but your family as well?
Well, I'm 21 years old and playing ball in Arkansas, and the Phillies had told me different times in spring training, we might try to groom you as a relief pitcher. Because at the time they had Jim Bunning, Chris Short, Art Mahaffey, so many other guys that were a little more experienced than me, Balshin, to be a starter. So the bullpen was kind of the way to get to the big leagues. So in '65, early September, I had a call up, and I went up to the Phillies. The first pitcher I relieved was Jim Bunning. I beat Bob Gibson. I came in the sixth inning, pitched 4 innings of relief, and beat Bob Gibson for I think it was a 5-4 win. I didn't give up a run. Pitched 4 shutout innings, beat Gibson in relief. 3 days later, I beat the Mets. I pitched 2 days later. I got a no decision against Cincinnati, and the only team that beat me was the Chicago Cubs. Ron Santo hit a wind-blown home run against me. Hit a ball in the bleachers. We had about 4 or 5 rain delays, and it was late in the game. And I went out in the 8th and got the 8th inning, got it out. And then Billy Williams was the first hitter in the 9th. Got him to hit a fly ball to right field. And Ron Santo hit a ball, high fly ball to left field. Tony Gonzalez is the left fielder. He starts to come in. He goes back to the track, to the wall. Falls in the first row of seats. So the Chicago Cubs are the only organization I've never beaten. And then I get traded to the Chicago Cubs, and the rest is history.
You ever talk to Ron about that home run?
I told him. I said, hey, you got lucky with a good fastball. It's a good fastball. He hit a high fly ball. The wind. Oh yeah, there was a big wind factor in Wrigley Field. A lot. I said the wind helped you. That should have been a pop up in the infield.
Like, I had enough of this. I'm going to go play in Chicago now.
Yeah.
I won't have to worry about those wind-aided home runs beating us. Obviously, a Hall of Fame career. You traveled around in the major leagues, Chicago, stops in Boston, Texas, and, of course, came in with the Phillies. Which was your favorite ballpark to play in? Of course, some ballparks that no longer are around today. Was there a favorite one that you liked visiting a lot?
Well, 10 years in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Crosley Field was a great ballpark in Cincinnati. Shea Stadium was a big ballpark. Same with the Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Chavez Ravine, where the All-Star game was just this past July. During the day, the ball jumped. At night, the wind was, or the air was like heavy. Not a lot of home runs hit at night in Chavez Ravine. But during the day, that ball jumped. So you had to be real careful there.
Of course, you spent a lot of your Hall of Fame career with the Chicago Cubs. What did the Cubs organization in the city of Chicago mean to you?
Well, the fans were incredible. They just, when I became a regular starter, they just embraced me. I was winning a lot of ball games, and they always knew, and I'm not sure if this was something that they picked up on it, but they always knew when Jenkins was pitching, if I could get 2 or 3 runs, we got a good shot at winning. Because that first year out of the bullpen pitching with the Cubs, we lost, 103 ball games, which is not a lot of fun coming to the park and losing, believe me. The game starts, everybody's tied. And by the 5th, we're behind 2-3 runs. And by the 8th, we're a loser. And then, hey, got to play again tomorrow. But most of my career was all-day games in Wrigley, which is fun. And then on the road, the odd-day game. But we used to have, double hitters Sunday, day off Monday. That was always a lot of fun. Kenny Holtzman and I might pitch a doubleheader together, or maybe Bill Hands, and we have to face the Giants or the Dodgers, Cincinnati or the Mets, whoever we had to face. But we always had pretty good records against certain ball clubs, and especially doubleheaders. Winning home was really something to do, having a good home record. That really helped a lot of times during the season. You have a good home record because fans would come out and wanted to see us win, regardless of playing from 66 to 68. And we had a great team in 69. And we should have beat the Mets, but we didn't. They caught us, beat us. Better team in 70 when Pittsburgh caught us. So there were some ball clubs that, to me, I had a lot of respect for. Cincinnati had great hitters with Frank Robinson and quite a few guys, Vada Pinson. And then you look at the Mets. They had Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, Len Clendenin, Ron Swoboda, Grody. They had some good hitting team ball teams. And then Pittsburgh was a nemesis with me, with Clemente and Cepeda. Not Cepeda. Clemente and Stargell, Manny Sanguillen. So there were Hebner. There were some hitters that you just had to be very careful with, because I'm not saying they had my number, but
it always gave you a tough at-bat.
You hated to give up that extra base hit to them and give up runs.
Now, you mentioned a few times there, obviously began your major league career in the bullpen and then transitioned out of it. Was that something that kind of you wanted to do, or maybe the coaching staff decided this might be a good fit for you? You were having success at the bullpen. Why not try it as a starter as well?
Well, I had a great manager in Leo DeRocher. He knew the game. And my first 35 or 40 relief appearances, he had said that he was always wanting to give me that opportunity to be a starter. So early in August, I got a chance to face the Atlanta Braves with Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron and Tito Francona. I mean, there was a ton of good hitters on that ball club. So I got a chance, and I ended up pitching about 6 or 7 shutout innings. And then from then on, I was a starter. Won the job in 1967 and never looked back.
Preferred as a starter?
Yeah. Oh, I love starter. You get 3 days off. You didn't have to tax your arm. 3 days off and then throw a little BP or whatever. But those 3 days off were always something I looked forward to. And when I became a real starter, I think a good veteran starter, I always looked forward to those 3 days off.
Fergie, you mentioned some of the tougher hitters that you had to face against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Is there one guy in particular that stands out to you as, man, that guy was a really hard guy to get out?
Willie McCovey with the Giants. Left-hand hitter. And Connie, in the old Candlestick Park, he was tough there. I mean, the wind blew out to right field. Mays was a good right-handed hitter, but I had good success against Mays and Jim Ray Hart and Davenport and a few other guys, Haller. But McCovey was tough. But I used to, in the Cactus League, there was only 3 teams in the Valley. The Cubs, the San Francisco Giants, and the Oakland A's. And you had to pitch a lot against the Giants or Oakland. So I got a chance to pitch against Bandel and Mays and Joe Rudy and all these guys. And Oakland, I'm not saying I owned them, but there were a few times that I had pretty good success against them. But, geez, the Giants, from time to time, I had to tell myself, you got to pitch around McCovey. Don't give him anything good to hit. Or Jim Ray Hart. So I had a lot of respect for a lot of the Giant lineups.
Strikeout there for the second out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Quickly here, I know you're just joining us for the 4th. You got another out to work with here. You make the return to London after your Hall of Fame Major League career, and you get to pitch back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Is that kind of a come circle moment for you in your baseball career? I know obviously career winding down at that point, but a place that really just down the road from you growing up. I know a team that actually had conversations with before you started your Major League career. Is this like a come circle moment for you coming back to the majors?
Well, it was interesting because Ernie Miller tried to get me to come here when I was 16, going to be 17 that winter, was to pitch for the majors, and the OBA kind of frowned on it. I was playing midget baseball at 16, 17, they were 15, 16, 17. So it wasn't going to happen. And unfortunately, I didn't come to perform here until I was 40 years old. But when I look back, it would have been nice to experience playing against a little better classification teams, a little better ball player, to try to use my ability to get guys out and just to see if I was capable to survive. But it didn't happen. And when I came at the age of 40, I told myself, you're just having fun. You're enjoying yourself, having fun. If you get guys out, fine. If they get hits, fine. And I'm not trying to make guys look bad if I threw a hard slider and they didn't look good, or a curveball. That wasn't my goal. My goal is to go out there and have a little fun and try to keep the score close and win some ball games.
Earlier this year, Fergie, you were at the unveiling of a statue for yourself at Wrigley Field. Talk to me about how special that moment was, getting a chance to see that get erected there.
Well, Tom Ricketts had got a hold of me a year ago and said that they wanted to erect a statue. And would the Cubs have the permission to do it? I said, yeah, go right ahead. And what they had, about 6 or 7 photos, and they had finally decided the Sports Illustrated cover in 1971, the year I won the Cy Young, they were going to use that photo because you could see the logo, the Cub logo, and the logo on the hat. And I didn't have it covered up with my glove. But the nice thing about it, when I seen it unveiled, it looked like me. A lot of statues that are erected with guys,
see a lot, yeah.
They don't look like it doesn't look like them. But this photo and the portrayal, and the artist did a great job of doing a good job, and the statue did look like me.
Well, Fergie, we thank you for joining us here in the broadcast booth for the 4th inning. We know you got a busy night going on, a lot down there on the concourse.
Signing autographs. There's a few more fans left. I haven't signed for it yet.
So we'll let you get on your way here, and we thank you for joining us. We're going to head to break here on Majors TV on the Majors YouTube page.
Beautiful. All right.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So it's keeping everything.
Back here in the Game Day London broadcast booth as we move along to the top half of the fifth inning. First out on the board there after the fly out. A big thank you once again to Fergie Jenkins. Pleasure of joining us up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth. An honor for Dylan. I know both you and I and the whole team up here that got to meet him.
Absolutely, Noah. It was very special to have Fergie up here. Huge thanks to him once again. I mean, so awesome to get a chance to talk to him.
Enjoy some of his stories because you know there's a ton. We sat there for what was probably about 15 minutes at least, and we didn't even get into the tip of the iceberg there, Dylan. Fergie could sit around and tell stories all through the night, and a man with so many of them through his glorious major league career, of course, a Hall of Fame member in 1991. Hit on the ground, second base. A nice hop up there. High hop to Newton. He makes the throw over to Reichstein to first in time for the second out here of the top of the fifth inning.
Great play over there by Jacob Newton. Took a bit of a funny hop on him, but he was able to keep his composure and fire a strike over to first base for the second out of this top of the fifth inning. And no, I think I messaged you on the tour today when I was with Fergie Jenkins. Just you can listen to this guy tell stories all day is what I said to you, because Fergie just has so many, and he's such a great storyteller. An awesome opportunity to chat with him there.
Called strike there, and of course telling the stories through the fourth. We saw zeros put up on both sides of the board. Still a 3-0 Majors lead here in the top half of the fifth inning. The 0-1 fouled back to the screen, and Dylan, through all this, Fernando Fernandez, quite the start he's been putting in so far.
Absolutely, Noah. Fernando Fernandez now into his fifth inning of work. He's been working very well. The bullpen is still sitting around. Not up to much out there because Fernandez has just been so good for the London Majors up to this point in the ball game. Normally a reliever, starting in this one has been everything the Majors could have asked for and more.
Here's the pitch. Into center field for a base hit. The jump at shortstop from Taylor Wright, not enough to bring it back down. And it's a two-out base knock here for the Cardinals in the fifth.
Taylor Wright's a pretty big guy in general, and he's got pretty good hops, as you saw right there. He timed his jump perfectly, got up there, just could not make the play as it sailed over his head and into left field for a base hit. So the Cardinals get a two-out base runner here in the fifth.
So two gone here in the inning. The two-out single has the Cardinals a base runner. Strike to start the at-bat for Fernandez. Fernandez stares over to first now, grabs his sign, comes to the plate. It's upstairs. Jeremy Veilleux at the plate here for Hamilton. Bonaiuto stands at first after the 2-out single. Fastball inside corner, just missing. And it's 2-1.
Fernandez just missed with that pitch there on the inside part of the plate to Bonaiuto, to Veilleux. Nearly had him for strike 2, but could not come up with the corner.
Two-one. Here is the delivery from Fernandez. Hit on the ground, up the middle to second base. Newton picks it up to shovel the 2 in time to get Bonaiuto sliding into second base. A nice defensive play gets the Majors out of the top half of the 5th inning.
Fantastic play by Jacob Newton up the middle there. That was going to be a very tough play. It was hit very hard off the bat of Jeremy Veilleux up the middle. Newton slid over, made the stab at that baseball, and flipped it to Taylor Wright in time to record the final out of the top of the 5th inning. Not the first stellar defensive play we've seen from Jacob Newton so far in this ball game.
Certainly not. The Majors defense as a whole has been doing a fantastic job so far tonight. We saw the dive by Taylor Wright that I feel like we missed out on a little bit because we're up here talking to Fergie, but it was a fantastic play at short, and then another nice smooth defensive play at second base there by Newton to get the Majors out of the inning.
The defense has been on full display for Majors fans so far in this contest. Newton had that play earlier where he made a sliding stop and threw it over to Byron Reichstein. Another sliding stop right there, and Taylor Wright, a great diving play back in the 4th inning. So we've seen the highs of this Majors defense. Everybody putting on a show right now for this great Labatt Park crowd in this contest.
A 3-0 London Majors lead here in London after 4.5 at the ballpark. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard quickly here. One other game in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. The Barrie Baycats are in Brantford taking on the Red Sox. Top of the 5th inning at Arnold Anderson Stadium, and the Red Sox holding on to a 3-2 lead over the visiting Baycats here in London. The Cardinals and Majors 3-0 the Majors lead as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. And Dylan, it looks like we have a new arm into the ball game here for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Michael Bonacorso out of the bullpen for Hamilton. He actually came in the 4th inning, but we were talking to Fergie Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. Bonacorso working in his 3rd game as a Hamilton Cardinal and 8th game overall this season. Spent some time with the Welland Jackfish earlier in the year. Pitched in 5 games in Welland, 7 1/3 innings. 6 walks, 4 strikeouts, and in Hamilton, he started 1 game for the Cardinals, pitched 3 1/3 innings, combined in his 2 outings, struck out 1, walked 4. So the walks are definitely an issue, and in that 4th inning for Bonacorso, he hit Gibson Kraminski, did not walk a batter, got Drew Lawrence to ground out, then struck out Austin Wilkie and Jacob Newton to retire the side. So it was a successful bottom of the 4th for Bonacorso, and he'll be looking to build off of that and keep the Cardinals within striking distance here as he works in the bottom of the 5th inning.
He'll have to do so, leading things off against Cleveland Brownlee. Majors 3-0 lead. They scored a run in the bottom half of the 2nd and 2 more in the bottom half of the 3rd on just 4 hits so far in the ball game. But Cleveland Brownlee will lead things off and try to get them started here in the bottom of the 5th.
Brownlee launched a single in his last trip to the plate towards the left center field gap. It was hit very, very hard right through the shift.
Here is the stare in and the sign for Bonacorso. First pitch delivery. Brownlee crushes one out in the air to center field and gone! Cleveland Brownlee plays long ball here in the bottom of the 5th inning. His league-leading 12th of the season.
Cleveland Brownlee with a long home run to center field. Lined it hard to center. And it traveled over the center field fence. I mean, that's a long way to go. 4-0-2 to dead central, and Cleveland got that one over that fence out there to extend the Majors lead to 4-0. And like you mentioned, Noah, Cleveland Brownlee leading 12th home run of the season.
Quite the welcome to the ball came there as Brownlee drove one out 410 feet to center field to extend the Majors lead to 4-0. The gritting for Bonacarso on the mound.
Robert Mullen at the plate now for the Majors, 1 for 1 in the contest so far. Walked in his first trip and then lined a double into right center. Cleveland Brownlee would have scored on the double had he not had to hold up.
Now ripped down the line, but foul off the bat of Robert Mullen. Might have had extra bases there to follow up the Brownlee home run to lead off the inning, but he just got enough of it.
Yeah, just did go foul right there for Robert Mullen, and almost had a double if it would have stayed fair. I mean, the left fielder Bonaiuto is shaded well off the line. No dice for Mullen though.
Now Mullen out to right center field. This one's on the line, and this one's going to bang up against the wall in right center. And Robert Mullen has another double here. This one to right center. Another hard hit ball for the Majors.
That is Robert Mullen's 14th double of the season. He hit doubles 13 and 14 in this contest. And if you looked at the Hamilton Cardinals outfield before that ball was hit, they were shaded a little more towards right center. The left fielder was off the line. The right fielder was off the line a little bit. Everybody was playing him straight up towards center field, and they still couldn't come up with that baseball. Mullen just simply hit it too hard over the head of the right fielder. Mullen's got power to all fields. If you look at his breakdown in terms of home runs, he's got 5 to left, 1 to center, and 4 to right. He can spray it all over the place. He can drive the baseball all over the place, and that's exactly what he did there with the double to the gap.
Majors in a good spot here. They continue to hit the baseball. Home run double to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Starling Joseph now. 1-0 count on him. He scored a couple of runs on a base hit his last time around, but then got picked off at first base. That takes a healthy cut at that fastball. Misses, and the count's 1-1.
Joseph, a great RBI opportunity here for the Majors. You'd love to add on if you're London. No lead is ever safe. You want to keep growing it, though they are up by 4 right now in the 5th inning. Joseph 1 for 2 on the day.
Called a strike on Joseph, 1-2. Majors a 4-0 lead. Another run added here on the Brownlee home run in the inning. Mullen stands at second after the double. Here's the 1-2 delivery to Starling Joseph, a curveball outside. He takes that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Majors outfielder.
When Starling Joseph first started with the Majors this season, the strikeouts were a bit of an issue for him, but he's really found a way of curbing that number a little bit. He's laid off some more tough pitches, and he's been a really tough out up there at the plate. Another example of it right there. Didn't chase that last pitch.
Fouls that one off into the screen, so he stays alive. Count stays at 2-2. More action down in the Cardinals bullpen here, with the home run and double to start the outing for Bonacarso. Got a 2-2 count here on Joseph. Popped up, sky high on the infield, converging, but over to make the catch is Niles, and there's one gone.
Yeah, Luis Jean and Josh Niles were in the same spot. They were both able to make that play, but Niles called off the shortstop right away, and Jean did a good job backing off because the shortstop we often hear is the captain of the infield, and he gets priority on any baseball that he would like to catch, but Niles called him off early, and at times that can lead to some collisions and miscommunications on fly balls on the infield, but Niles took control and made the grab.
First pitch is going to miss outside to Byron Reichstein. 1-0 on him. Mullen the lead at second. Here is the fastball. This one missing from Bonacorso outside. 2-0.
Another at-bat right now for Byron Reichstein, where he gets ahead in the count, laying off some pitches outside the strike zone. He's done a great job of doing that so far in his return to the majors, and especially in this ball game.
Look, delivery, and now Reichstein will drive one in the air out to center field. This one tracking back, and it's caught up against the wall. What a nice grab by Duncan up against the fence in deep right center field for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Duncan gets a tip of the cap from his pitcher, Michael Bonacorso, out there on the mound. That's not the first play that we've seen from Tyler Duncan out in center field where he goes crashing into the fence to make a great grab. Byron Reichstein scorched that baseball and nearly got it out of the ballpark. You hit it anywhere else pretty much at Labatt Park, and that ball is a home run, but not to center field. Duncan did a great job tracking that one and making the grab for the big second out in this bottom of the fifth inning.
So 2 gone after the long line out to center. Pitch inside to Taylor Wright, who is 1 for 2 in the ball game.
That one proved pivotal for the Majors in scoring their first run of the ball game. A line drive single in the second inning. He stole second, got to third on the air, and came around to score on the Gibson Kraminski sac fly.
Delivery. Fastball missing low to right. Count now 2-0. Said it already throughout the broadcast, Dylan. The Majors lineup was deep. When Wright was with the team, it was deep after he left, but adding him back just makes this lineup that much more dangerous. Hits one on the ground. Fair ball. Gets past the first baseman. Into score comes Robert Mullen. Taylor Wright's up to second with a double. And he's got himself a 2-hit night.
That one was very close to going foul. It looked like it may have hit part of the base. If not, it was right inside the line. And a great job by Jeff Rose over at first base, right on top of that call. Made the correct one, a fair ball down the line. So Taylor Wright gets an RBI double to drive home Robert Mullen, and the Majors lead by a score of 5-0 now. And Wright continues his big first game back.
Even Wright coming out of that batter's box, I think, thought that ball was going to be foul. And now we'll get a visit out to the mound. And you wonder if the Cardinals might make a move here, Dylan.
Yeah, Bonacorso had a great fourth inning for the Hamilton Cardinals, but has struggled so far here in the fifth. Allowed the home run to Cleveland Brownlee, the double to Robert Mullen, the double to Taylor Wright. He's got 2 out in the inning, so it looks like this might just be a conversation to try and calm him down. Say, hey, we've got 1 more out to get. Just get out of this inning, and you're done after this more than likely, but we'd like to save our arm in the bullpen. We're still not sure who that is warming up, but they want to save that arm as long as they possibly can, and Bonacorso out there on the mound needs to bear down and try to get this final out. Gibson Kraminski will be the man up to the plate to do that. Kraminski still without an official at-bat in this ball game. Had a sacrifice fly in his first trip, which does not count as an at-bat. Counts as a plate appearance, of course, and then got hit by a pitch the next time around.
So the visit over and ready to go here once again. 2 gone in the inning. Bonacorso looking to get the Cardinals out of the inning as that one is in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, but it gets away from him. Moving up to third base on the play is Wright. And just 90 feet away from scoring now.
Yeah, that one just got away from the catcher, Ryan Burnside. He couldn't really did a good job getting in front of it, squaring up to that baseball to ensure it didn't get back to the backstop, but then lost it as soon as it hit off of him, and that allows Wright to move up 90 feet.
Hit but fouled off by Kraminski at the plate. Count now to 1-1. Two runs across for the Majors here in the bottom of the fifth. Another one stands 90 feet away. Here's the curveball. Called a strike on Kraminski. Dropped it in there. Nice pitch. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Very good pitch by Michael Bonacorso right there. Just dropped it in. Caught Kraminski off guard and now is ahead in the count 1-2.
Fastball just missing outside, maybe a hair high as well to Kraminski. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's a good pitch on 1-2, though. A high fastball following up the breaking ball. It was a breaking ball that Kraminski could have hit, so you know he was going to be eager to swing, but did not go after the high cheese.
Ripped on the ground, second base, a nice grab to the ground, and to throw to 1 in time to get Kraminski for the final out of the inning. The Majors pick up 2 more here in the bottom of the fifth. It is a 5-0 London lead through 5 complete here at Labatt Park. We're going to break. More coming up on the other side. You're watching London Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Capturing emotion in every.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Dizzy bat race underway. Let's see who our winner is. And the gentleman in the blue shirt is our Dizzy bat contest winner for today, as Fernando Fernandez is back out there on the mound for the 6th inning of play here at Labatt Park. And Fernando has been fantastic up to this point for the Majors, and he'll look to continue that success that he's had so far. Just 3 hits for the Hamilton Cardinals, as you see on your screen there, through 5. No runs allowed for Fernando Fernandez. And Noah Fernando has been incredible on the mound for the Majors. Not everything they wanted out of their spot starter.
Dylan, it is a 4-game weekend for the Majors, and with that, you knew you were going to have to get a start out of someone who hasn't thrown a lot of starts this year. The Majors went with Fernando Fernandez. And if we're being honest, coming into the broadcast, you didn't know what you were going to expect. He's had some good outings for sure. He's had some moments where he hasn't looked as sharp. You come in here against the Hamilton Cardinals team, who has lots of good offensive hitters, but have been struggling as a team over the last few weeks for sure. And he's had himself a fantastic start so far. Moves into the top of the 6th now. Surrendered just the 3 hits and really just continuing to be effective. He's throwing a lot of strikes, and that's what I like the most.
Yeah, Fernando Fernandez threw 56 pitches. He's been so efficient through 5 innings. 56 pitches, 40 strikes. Fernandez has been pounding the zone. The first pitch of the number 9 hitter, Josiah Devapalin, is a called strike 1 from Fernandez.
And that's exactly what he's been doing. Countless strike ones to start at bats and just continues to pound the zone.
0-1 now to Devapalin. Here's the offering. That is hit hard down the line, but just foul ahead of the bag, and the count moves to 0-2.
That ball was ripped. Would have been extra bases possibly there to start the inning, but just foul past the first baseman. and Reichstein.
No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Devapalen 0 for 1 in the ball game. Fernandez sets out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. On the ground towards Newton at second base. He picks that one up, takes his time, throws over to Reichstein at first, and that's the first out of the top of the 6th inning.
We talked, Dylan, about how effective Fernandez has been, and a lot in part due to the ground balls that he's been getting. You flash back to inning number 1, the double play that he got to get him out of a little bit of a jam, and he's been fantastic at getting those ground balls for his infielders, who in turn have been making the outs for him, and that has been part of the reason why he's been so successful so far.
Yeah, Fernandez has received a lot of ground balls in this ball game, and a lot of great defenses, some diving plays by Newton and Wright up the middle. It's been a great display by the Majors. That one's hit right back up the middle. It's going to get into center field for a 1-out base hit.
1-out base hit, just the 4th hit for the Cardinals so far in this contest, but it's with 1 out. It puts them in a spot here where they can try and get something going in the top of the 6th inning. There is some movement for the Majors down in the bullpen, and just now we see some action in the Majors bullpen as Brent Wales, the pitching coach, comes out to talk things over with his starter.
Now, while Fernando Fernandez has been efficient up to this point, 60 pitches through 5 1/3 innings, we don't know what Fernandez's pitch limit is, where the max is for Fernando Fernandez, because he hasn't really faced a situation like this before. We don't know how far he's built up, and 60 pitches, probably 75 would be my guess on what the max is, or right around the max for Fernando Fernandez as he talks it over with Robert Mullen now. Looks like Anderson Acevedo warming up in the bullpen for the Majors right now. Get a good look at it on your screen right there.
Well, and part of the nice thing about what the Majors have done on offense so far is you've got yourself a little bit of a lead. And you can maybe go to the bullpen here against the Cardinals, knowing that you've got some runs to work with.
So Luis Jean will step up to the plate for Hamilton. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game today. He's got Osika standing over at first base with 1 out. As Acevedo takes his time out in the bullpen, but he is beginning to get ready, and Fernandez sets out there on the mound. Here's the offering. That is hit hard, but foul, and the bullpen protection squad on their game. Keeping it away from the arm warming up.
That is what they're there for, Dylan. You don't actually often see it, though. Doing a good job there at making sure Acevedo warming up is good to go.
No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Fernandez. That's fouled off towards the backstop. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. That is lined over the head of Newton into right field. Starling Joseph will come around on that baseball, holding Osika at second base. And 2 runners on now with 1 away for the Hamilton Cardinals.
And this is exactly what the Cardinals needed to do, Dylan, is you start just putting some hits together. Not going to score runs in the way that maybe the Majors have with the long ball like Brownlee. You're going to try to get some runners on, move them over, and get them in. Start chipping away at the lead. Right now at 5-0 for the Majors. If you can start getting some runs across, then maybe you can make that, a 5-1, 5-2 lead and slowly start chipping away as this ball game goes on.
Tyler Duncan will step into the batter's box with 2 on, 1 out. The pitch from Fernandez is in the air down the left field line, chasing after it, Drew Lawrence, and he will make the grab. Osika went halfway, so he's not able to move up to third base as Lawrence makes the grab for the 2nd out.
No chance for Osika to tag up there with where that ball was hit. Lawrence ranges over to his right near the line, makes the catch. That's a big out for Fernandez. We continue to see the Majors bullpen warm. I would imagine, Dylan, without looking into it too much, this might be the last inning for Fernandez, and he would like to get out of it with the lead intact where it is.
if it is the last inning for Fernando Fernandez, I mean, he's had a great outing up to this point. Needs to get one more out to get through 6 scoreless frames for the Majors. He's got to deal with Josh Niles. He's the cleanup hitter for the Hamilton Cardinals. Here's the first pitch from Fernandez. That's going to miss well high for ball 1. One of the few times we've seen Fernando miss on the first pitch.
And more so in this inning than the last few even. He's starting to look a little bit more tired. Not quite at the point where he's exhausted per se, but running out of energy here as he works into the top of the 6th inning now with 2 outs.
Two balls and no strikes to Niles. Fernandez takes a deep breath out there on the mound, looks in for the sign, and comes set. Here is the 2-0. That's going to miss high again. So 3 pitches to Josh Niles. Every single one of them has missed high. So it's a great hitter's count now for Niles.
This is the first time in the ball game that we've actually seen Fernandez fall behind 3-0 in the count. He has been very good at throwing strikes, as we touched on, even as recently as in this inning.
The 3-0 on its way to Niles. He's taking all the way. That one's in there for a called strike. So the count moves to 3-1 now with 2 away and 2 on.
I'm not worried about Fernandez just going right at Niles here. Throw it across the plate, make him hit it.
Here's the 3-1. That's going to miss high as well. So 4 balls, all of them missed high. Roop Chandradat taking a few steps out there now. And he is going to walk towards the mound. It looks like that could be all for Fernando Fernandez. And the London Majors starter. He's pitched very, very well up to this point. 5 2/3 scoreless, 69 pitches. And that's going to do it for his outing today. A great outing for Fernando Fernandez, the Majors' left-handed pitcher. It's a call to the bullpen for London. We'll be back after this.
Capturing emotion in every.
Welcome back to Labatt Park. Anderson Acevedo out there on the mound for the London Majors, the big right-hander coming in to try to get out of a very tough spot with the bases loaded and 2 out.
Tony comes in out of the bullpen here so far this season with the Majors. This will be his 4th appearance in the Pinstripes, each of his appearances so far on the road in Toronto, in Brantford, and in Hamilton. This will be the first time he throws on the mound here in London. He's thrown an inning in 2 of his appearances, an inning and 2/3 in the first one he had so far, and struggled a little bit at the start. Dylan in Toronto, a little bit better when he was on the road in Brantford, and then more recently in Hamilton, a 10-3 win for the Majors. He pitched an inning, struck out a batter, and got through it without giving up a run.
Majors would love a strikeout in this spot. The bases are loaded with 2 away. Acevedo has to face Lane Renault, who is 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking and lined out to center field. Line out came back in the 4th inning. Fernandez, after 5 solid, loaded the bases here. Just seemed to be out of gas when Josh Niles at the plate walked him. Here's the first pitch from Acevedo. Breaking ball, just misses for ball one.
Yeah, rather than leave his starter Fernandez in the game, Dylan, when he was running out of gas a little bit with 2 outs, loaded the bases for the Cardinals here. It just took 1 hit, so he goes to the bullpen.
That one is in there for a strike, so it's a ball and a strike now from Acevedo. Two out, bases loaded, 1-1 count. He sets out there on the mound. Here's the offering. Breaking ball, swing, and a miss. 1-2 now on Lane Renault.
Breaking ball has got fantastic movement. Big righty comes over the top with it, and it moves a lot in the 60 feet it takes to get to the plate. You can see there by the swing and the miss to get him up 1-2.
Acevedo looks in for the sign. He comes set out there on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Anderson Acevedo comes in and gets a huge strikeout to escape the jam for the Majors.
Fantastic work there out of the bullpen. Gets the strikeout. Stuff really working there on the mound for Acevedo, and it is another 0 on the board for the Cardinals in the top half of the 6th inning here in London. 5-0, the Majors leading.
Great job there by the Majors. Right-hander coming into the contest, and knowing now that his outing is officially complete. 5 2/3 innings, scoreless. Loaded the bases in the 6th, but Fernando Fernandez had a terrific outing for the Majors.
Yeah, terrific is probably the best way to put it, Dylan. He was fantastic in the ball game for London tonight. Got the start on this Friday, and he knew coming into the game that all he really had to do was keep the Majors in a position where if they put up, the 5 runs that they have so far where the offense is clicking, that they were in a lead. He didn't have to be as good as he was so far, but, that only just helps here. And, Dylan, it does look like we have another new arm into the game for the Hamilton Cardinals. Dory Torres will come in, another righty here. 0-4 record so far for the Cardinals this summer. The ERA sitting at 5.5. Has pitched out of the bullpen for Hamilton in this summer.
Torres worked against the Majors a couple Saturdays ago when the Cardinals were last in town. In that outing, he went an inning, allowed an earned run, 2 hits, a walk. And we'll look to get through Drew Lawrence, Austin Wilkie, and Jacob Newton here for the Majors. The bottom of the order turning it right over to the top as the Majors go through for the 4th time once it gets back to Wilkie.
Good night at the ballpark here in London tonight. Of course, Fergie Jenkins night. The Cooperstowner in attendance. He's been signing autographs. He took the Labatt Park tours throughout the ceremonial first pitch, and of course joined us up here for the 4th inning in the Game Day London broadcast booth.
All smiles up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth. The Labatt Park press box just up and down. Everybody smiling. Everybody listening so attentively. Everybody from our end of the press box to the other one, trying to hear what Fergie's got to say in his interview.
And a good crowd here in London to try and get their glimpse or autograph with Fergie Jenkins. He has been a busy man tonight. I was actually standing up here, Dylan, trying to find where he is now. He's been on the move all night long.
He's a busy man. I saw he was enjoying a London Majors signature can Railway City Brewery.
I saw that. The viewers might have saw that. He brought it up here with him to the broadcast booth.
Fergie's having a great time, it looks like. I mean, when he was on the Labatt Park tour today, he seemed to really be enjoying it. He was looking at all the posters around the ballpark. Tourism London has done a great job with those tours, and he seemed to be into it. He was telling us stories as he was walking around the ballpark. Super cool experience to get to share that with Fergie and some members of the media here in the city. And signing autographs, just such a great guy who gives back to the community. Here's the first pitch from Dari Torres to Drew Lawrence. It's spiked on the ground towards second base. Osika with a jump, fires a throw in towards the Cardinals dugout, skips up against the fence. And Drew Lawrence will stay over at first base, so he reaches.
Great job there by Lawrence getting down the line quickly. Coming up with the throw at second base probably would have actually been better off just holding that one because the throw goes over top of the first baseman's head. And had it not been for the 2020 renovations here at Labatt Park, Drew Lawrence might have been up a 90 feet at second to begin the inning.
Noah, you and I have both played at Labatt Park, and having that netting there in front of the dugout is so much better than what it was before, so much less dangerous with those balls. Sometimes foul balls will be hit there. That one saves an extra base for the Hamilton Cardinals, who have a runner over at first after the single.
Lawrence can run. He's stolen 2 bases earlier on in the ball game.
Austin Wilkie takes the first pitch he sees out towards center field. Stepping back is Duncan. He's got it and will make the play for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
Lawrence, right on cue, was off on that pitch. Another chance at the hit and run there for the Majors. So no strangers to, not just in this ball game, but all season long, playing the hit and run game, especially early on in innings.
So Dory Torres has thrown 2 pitches. The Majors have put 2 balls in play. Drew Lawrence singled, and Austin Wilkie flew out to center. Jacob Newton will step into the batter's box now. Newton is 0 for 2 in the ball game today. Torres looks in for the sign as Newton, still not in the batter's box, takes a peek over at Casey David Pullum at third base, who's communicating with Drew Lawrence. Lawrence has already stolen 2 bases in this ball game. Could be on the move here. Here's the pitch. Newton hits that one hard towards second base. Osika goes to second for 1. Jean over to first. Oh, and he threw it in Drew Lawrence. Lawrence is down for the count.
So Lawrence down in a heat behind second base. Training staff out to check on him here. Not a good scene in London.
That throw, Luis Jean on the transfer just threw it right into Drew Lawrence, and he immediately went down. Looks like he's getting back up on his feet now. Scary moment for sure.
He's up on his feet on his own power, so that is a good sign. I didn't get a full-on glimpse of it, Dylan. I'm not sure if he came in pretty high with the slide into second base or what, but it's going to be a tough turn for the Cardinals up the middle.
I think he popped up quickly after the slide, and Jean, who kind of double clutched the throw a little bit, kind of hesitated. His arm swung all the way back, and then he just threw it, and it happened to go right into Drew Lawrence. A freak play. You could see Jean's reaction. No intent behind that whatsoever. He was tending to Lawrence, wanted to make sure he was all right. Scary moment there for the Majors left fielder.
We will see if he stays in the ball game as well. Majors do have some options off the bench to bring them in if need be. It's an out on the play. Fielder's choice for the second out of the inning.
So Cleveland Brownlee will step into the batter's box now with 2 away, and Jacob Newton standing over at first base. Trades places with Drew Lawrence, who was retired on that fielder's choice. Brownlee homered in his last trip to the plate, has a hard single.
And he's got a new belt on as well. Broke the bat on that home run swing last time around.
Did he really? I didn't even notice.
I didn't actually notice until I got a text from Todd Devlin at Game Day London saying, really? No comment on the Brownlee broken belt? I saw something, but I wasn't sure. Sometimes we get lost in it up here in the booth.
First pitch to Brownlee missed. That one's going to miss as well. So 2 balls and no strikes to Cleveland.
Brownlee, of course, the home run his last time around, 12th of the season.
Here's the pitch. Brownlee hits that one foul. 2 balls and a strike. Still in the hitter's count against Torres.
4th time in his career he's hit a dozen long balls. He hit 12 a couple of years, and 13 is his career high.
He's getting closer. Certainly a possibility this season. He's a home run away from tying that career high, 2 away from beating it. Here's the pitch. Brownlee on the ground. Torres off the mound quickly. Will take his time. Throw over to first base in time to get the third and final out of the bottom of the 6th inning. So we're through 6 complete here from Labatt Park. The Majors lead 5-0.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning, currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
Welcome back to Labatt Park, top of the 7th inning. But before we get there, it's draw time for a signed Fergie Jenkins jersey. There's a ball in there as well. And Al Coombs is about to announce the winner. We know some people up here in the press box have bought some tickets.
Did you?
I did not.
I did not get my ticket. I did
didn't
not know there was.
available.
I was going to say, I didn't even know there was tickets. I feel like the ticket salespeople don't come up here as often.
No, I wonder why that is, Noah.
I have not heard any woos yet, so nobody with the winning ticket, perhaps?
Kind of wish we caught that number so we could tell it to the people at home in case the person has left the building already. Not sure if they'd be able to claim it.
There is an 8 in there somewhere.
There is. 840, I think, is how it starts.
I was going to say, I felt like it started with an 8, but I did not catch the rest of the number.
Yeah. You know, Sue Gibson up here in the press box had her tickets ready to go.
She didn't celebrate, so not looking good for the broadcast and press box team.
No, unfortunately not. That Fergie Jenkins jersey autograph, there's a patch that says London Majors Hall of Fame on that jersey. Got a look at it while it was in the Roy McKay clubhouse today and saw Fergie sign it, actually.
So Fergie signed that jersey when you were in the clubhouse there, eh?
Well, so the jerseys were on display in the clubhouse, but he actually signed it out on the concourse here at Labatt Park after the tour. And those are some cool jerseys, special jerseys. They're not exactly identical to the Majors jerseys we see now with the pinstripes and the L on the chest. That one is just plain white and it says London on it to honor Fergie Jenkins. And Fergie got, there were 2 jerseys just like it. One of them went to Fergie Jenkins. The other one was raffled off, and somebody has just won it.
I am awfully jealous, I must say, of the winner of the Fergie Jenkins signed jersey.
Noah, you're holding on to that Fergie Jenkins signed baseball pretty tight right there, so I would imagine that the jersey would have been extra special for you.
It is extra special. You know what was the most special is just having him up here in the booth.
Pretty incredible moment to have Fergie up here with us as the first pitch from Anderson Acevedo will miss for ball 1. Defensive change for the London Majors. Phil Whalen takes over in left field for Drew Lawrence. Lawrence, of course, seemingly got injured on that throw from Luis Jean as that one is fouled off at the plate. And Whalen will take over in left.
Yeah, it looked like Drew was all right coming off the field. Obviously injured, and with the Majors up 5-0 like they are moving into the 7th inning here, I think probably just a precautionary move to take him out of the ball game and put Phil Whalen into left field.
So Acevedo will miss with that one for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now from Majors right-hander. He's got to deal with Ryan Burnside to lead things off, Anthony Bonaiuto and Jeremy Veilleux. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters in this Hamilton Cardinals lineup. That one's lined straight back to the screen. Count moves to 2-2.
A good spot of the order here for him to try and get another inning under his belt. Did see briefly Braden Farrington, I believe, start throwing in the Majors bullpen, but that didn't last very long. 4 games on the weekend. I imagine they'll probably try to get at least a couple innings out of Acevedo if they can tonight.
Absolutely. Even if you have to burn him for Sunday, maybe available again on Monday for the Majors. We'll see what the plan is for Anderson Acevedo out there on the mound as Burnside fouled that one off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Acevedo sets out there on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Line drive, left center field, sinking quickly. Wilkie coming on, but can't get there in time. It'll drop in front of him, so it's a leadoff single for Ryan Burnside in the top of the 7th inning.
Good piece of hitting there for Burnside to get himself aboard, leading off the inning here for the Cardinals. Just took that one the other way. Good stroke out to left center field, and now Hamilton looks to try and get to work here in the top half of the 7th.
Anthony Bonaiuto will step into the batter's box. The runner over at first base, nobody out. Here's the first pitch from Acevedo. Breaking ball, drops in there for a called strike 1.
His breaking ball has looked fantastic so far tonight. The pitch that definitely has impressed me the most, even just the short amount of time we've seen him.
0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. That is fouled off towards the parking lot. Here at Labatt Park, the count moves to 0-2.
Big 0-2 count now. You get up early on him. Now you try to find that wipeout breaking ball that we saw to end the 6th inning.
So Acevedo well ahead of Bonaiuto right now, looking to put him away here. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
That's the pitch right there. The curveball really working, tight break. Another strikeout for him. First out of the inning.
So Acevedo has recorded 2 outs in his outing so far. Both of them via the punch out. Another breaking ball that was swung right through there by the Hamilton Cardinals. Bonaiuto goes down swinging. The second strikeout victim, as mentioned, Lane Renault, struck out to end the 6th inning. Acevedo took over for Fernando Fernandez, who loaded the bases. Here's the pitch from Acevedo. That's a fastball, and it's in there for a called strike 1 to Jeremy Veilleux. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Acevedo sets. Has a runner over at first, that's Burnside. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, sharp break on that one, and it's ball 1 as Veilleux didn't go all the way around.
1-1 count here on Veilleux. Going to try to find that double play ball, roll it up the middle here. Defense is ready.
Time called at the plate, not sure if it's by Mullen or Veilleux. Veilleux looks out, Acevedo looking in. Here's the 1-1. On the ground, right back to the mound. Acevedo bobbles it. He'll have to go to first. It's his only play. Reichstein switches sides of the bag and comes up with it for the second out of the 7th inning.
It's actually a very heads-up play there. You don't make it on the first stab at it with the glove. Pops out of the glove on the mound. So many times you'll actually see pitchers don't still think that they can recover and go to 2 in time to get the lead runner. Take the out. And as soon as you don't field that cleanly, go to 1. He does that perfectly. He gets the out and a big second out.
So Josiah Devapilin will step into the batter's box now. He's got a runner in scoring position with 2 out. Acevedo through an inning so far, looking to make it an inning in a third here. Devapilin swings through the breaking ball in the dirt for strike 1. Coming set out there on the mound is Acevedo. Burnside stands at second after the ground out. That one misses up and in to Devapilin. Count moves to a ball and a strike.
Got to be good with 2 outs here in the inning to try and set down the Cardinals. They are pressing here. Runner in scoring position. A base hit might score them.
Here's the 1-1. That's lined back at the screen, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
Cardinals tonight now up to 6 hits in the ball game. The Majors just 8, but the difference is that the Majors have been getting guys on and bringing them in with those 8 hits. Cardinals have not been able to match.
Here's the pitch on the ground, right back to Acevedo again. He makes the play. We'll flip it over to right side at first, and that will do it for the top of the 7th inning here at Labatt Park. It's stretch time as the Majors lead the Cardinals 5-0.
Stretch time at the ballpark, as you mentioned there, and Majors holding on to a 5-0 lead as we get up and we stretch here in the middle of the 7th.
La Bamba comes on here at Labatt Park. Fans begin to get up, stretch out, dance around a little bit. I will do the same, and we will take this opportunity to remind you, if you like dancing, you can follow on Majors on TikTok. Can't promise you they'll be dancing on the Majors page.
There might be. If we ever get our way, there might be dancing.
Yes.
On the London Majors TikTok page. No dancing on Twitter or Instagram, though.
No.
Strictly business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. TikTok, we have a little fun. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we keep it all professional.
Hey, listen, we are up to 794 YouTube subscribers.
Oh, boy.
We are nearing close to that 800 mark. So if you are tuned in right now, this is your call to action for the night. Give the fans a call to action. It's what they always say to do. Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube page. Hit that little bell. Get notified when we go live on the Majors YouTube page.
It would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to us. We had a bit of a call to action in a ball game earlier this year where we were close to 700. Now we're close to 800 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the Majors on YouTube yet, please do. Noah, last time I believe we gave the fans a thumbs up.
We gave them a thumbs up on camera as their reward. So what kind of reward are we looking for here if we get to 800 tonight?
I'm not sure.
Double thumbs up?
I think so.
I don't know. We got to come up with something good here.
We'll think about it. You guys get to work on the subscriptions.
And we'll try to figure out a good reward for if we get to 800 tonight. I would offer up hugs, but everybody's on the other side of the screen.
Maybe we'll give each other a high five and say it was dedicated to you, the fans.
That's a good idea.
Hamilton trailing 5-0. Dory Torres will stay out there for the Cardinals for his second inning of work through just 7 pitches in his first inning. Noah got through it. It was scoreless in the bottom of the 6th.
Comes back out here, and he'll get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning against this Majors lineup. One final look here before we move on into the back half of the ball game at the Out-of-Town scoreboard. Brantford did have a lead over Barrie earlier on in the midway point of the game, but it is now the top of the 8th inning at Arnold Anderson Stadium, and the Baycats holding on to a 7-3 lead over the Brantford Red Sox.
It was Alan Ross in the chat a little bit earlier, our good friend from Toronto, who said Brantford's got the lead for now. At times they have one bad inning that costs them, and they fall behind, and right now it looks like that is the case. Noah, down on the concourse, you see the person who found their Fergie Jenkins jersey was claimed, and a picture was taken with Fergie as the first pitcher, Robert Mullen, misses.
That's one lucky fan. That's a good Friday night at the ballpark.
Oh, my gosh,
cannot
is it
beat
ever.
that.
Here's the pitch. That's inside. Nearly clips Mullen. 2-0. No, I'd like to think that our Friday night may have beat that. We got a chance to talk to Fergie
That
up
is
here
true.
in the game day on the broadcast booth.
You know what? You can't beat that. That's what I'll say.
2 balls, no strikes to Robert Mullen to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. He swings through that one right over top of it, and the count moves to 2-1. Action in the Majors bullpen, Daniel Gore warming up.
Also action in the Hamilton Cardinals bullpen. So action on both sides of the field down the lines in the bullpens. Looks like that might be Strecker warming down in the Cardinals pen.
Stephen Strecker with an ERA under 1 this season for the Hamilton Cardinals. That one will miss. 3 balls and a strike from Dory Torres to Robert Mullen.
Mullen 2 doubles tonight off the base of the wall out in right center and center. I'd be careful with him too.
Had the green light on 3-1 and fouled that one off to the third base side. Count moves to full. Now, Noah, today is actually Stefan Strecker's birthday. If he comes into the ball game, that one will miss, and so that'll be ball 4 to Robert Mullen.
Robert Mullen, a leadoff walk here to start the bottom of the 7th inning. Pretty good start to the inning here for the Majors as they move through the middle of the order.
Mullen remains 2 for 2 on the day. To this point in the ball game, he had the 2 doubles that you mentioned and has walked twice. Walked the first time up to the plate and the 4th time just now to reach first for Starling Joseph, who's 1 for 3. Joseph digs into the batter's box, takes a look down to Casey David Pullum over at third base, and takes a breath to get set here to face Dari Torres, who has a runner over at first, nobody out. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the first pitch to Joseph looked like he might have broken his bat. Tough hop for Jean, flips to second for 1, on to first in time for the double play. So after allowing Mullen to reach, Torres gets a quick double play ball to get 2 out now in the bottom of the 7th.
That's exactly how you want to bounce back after the leadoff walk in the inning. You get a double play ball, as you mentioned. Looked like a broken bat there for Starling Joseph. He was actually a little bit slow getting out of the box and down the line. Not saying he would have beat that out, but a little slow getting out of the box. Of course, Mullen, the force out at 2, and then across the 1 in time to get Starling Joseph. Now Byron Reichstein will come to the plate.
Byron 0 for 2 in the ball game so far. Going to look to get into the hit column in this trip. Has walked in the game, so he has gotten on base.
Stung a baseball up the middle his last time as well, Dylan.
That one will miss, and honestly, Noah, if that ball was hit anywhere else in the park except for dead center, it was out of the ballpark with how hard it was hit. That one is ripped into right field. It's going to get down. It might be extra bases. Keith Candell pointing to Byron to head to second base, and he will get in there with a stand-up double for the Majors with 2 out in the 7th.
That's a good swing by Byron. Looked like the swing that we've seen so many times before. Finally figuring it out there. Just his 3rd extra base hit since rejoining the club, and that coupled with the long fly out to deep center he had last time around. If he can keep those at-bats going here down the stretch, then he might start heating up a little bit.
Taylor Wright will step into the batter's box. He's 2 for 3, and he's got a chance to drive home another run for the Majors, who lead 5-0. There's a runner in scoring position in Byron Reichstein after that double. Wright got on base and scored the first run for the Majors, then lined out to center field and doubled in his last trip. Here's the first pitch to Taylor Wright. That'll miss outside for ball 1.
Talk about having a good night at the plate as well. Taylor Wright 2 for 3 in his return to the pinstripes. Loves hitting in this park.
He sure does. Noah coming set as Torres. Here's the pitch. Just off the outside part of the plate, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 out. Reichstein over at second. Here's the pitch, right in the air. Right field, tracking back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Taylor Wright in his return to the Majors hits one out of the ballpark, and it's 7-0 London in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Taylor Wright got a pitch that he liked on 2-0. Put a fantastic swing on it, and Dylan, that is the look of a man you like having back in the 7-hole.
Absolutely, Noah. It's crazy that Taylor Wright is in the 7 spot in the Majors order, and he puts the Majors up 7-0 here in the 7th inning. A lot of 7s to go around. A lot of depth in this Majors lineup. Byron Reichstein, such a talented hitter, lines that double to get on base, get into scoring position, and then Taylor Wright follows it up with the home run. And the Majors lead by 7 now with Gibson Kerminski digging into the batter's box. Here's the pitch to Kerminski. That is in there for a called strike 1. Kerminski ready in the box. The 0-1 from Torres is going to miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to the switch hitting third baseman.
Cardinals likely just trying to get Torres through this bottom of the 7th inning. Pardon me. Strecker might get the 8th in that case.
Good fastball there from Torres. Had some late movement on it, and the count moves to 1-2 now on Kerminski. Coming set, Torres. The 1-2 on its way. Just misses. Torres thought he might have had strike 3, but the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes instead.
I'll tell you what, that pitch missed, but it didn't miss by much, and it's such a good location on the outside part of the plate. Breaks over the edge. That one, home plate umpire saying it just was off the edge.
That pitch is flared, shallow center field. Going to be a tough play for Jean, who reaches out, and it's going to get down. It's a base hit for Gibson Kerminski, who is now 1 for 2 on the day.
And now Dylan, the defensive replacement for Drew Lawrence. Bill Whalen will come in to take his first at-bat here in the game.
Yeah, Whalen took over in the top of the 7th inning defensively for Drew Lawrence, who left due to injury. And now we'll get his first crack at the plate here for London. Whalen batting .200 on the season. Torres takes a peek over at first. Gibson Kerminski now looks in for the sign and comes set out there on the mound. Here's the first offering to Whalen, just off the outside corner for ball 1.
Whalen this season, although struggling at the plate, has played a pretty big role coming in situations just like this one.
Cut on and missed. Whalen, I believe, 2 home runs this season. Noah hit 1 here at Labatt Park and hit 1 in Christie Pitts for London.
Yeah, 2 home runs on the year, 3 doubles as well, so he's got the extra base pop.
That is lined straight back to the screen now. If you're a Major League Baseball fan following the trade deadline, Luis Castillo has just been traded to the Seattle Mariners, according to Jeff Passan.
Interesting. Bruce and Jackson not happy with that one. No, he's not.
Seattle making a push for it. Here's the offering to Whalen. He rips that one down the third baseline. It's a fair ball. Around second, digging for third is Kerminski. Casey David Pullum going to throw up the stop sign, and Kerminski will hold at third. It's a 2-out double for Phil Whalen. The Majors are in business. They've got 2 in scoring position.
What a sweet swing there on that baseball. Comes into this ball game. Like I said, the average not where he wants it to be. 194 coming into this contest. But he's got those 5 extra base hits. Make it 6 now after that double down the left field line. And the Majors just keep on swinging the bats here. There is no stopping this order. As the man off the bench hits a double down the left field line. It just speaks once again to the depth of this order for London. You got guys on the bench that, Keith Candell is not in the lineup tonight. He's a regular at shortstop for London, batting a hair under 300 this year. Dan Perrier is batting up close to 400 this year, 394, I believe, right now for the Majors. Also not in the lineup, so they got tons of guys that can swing that aren't in the lineup as well.
So Austin Wilkie will step into the batter's box. He is 0 for 4 in the ball game. Here's the pitch. That is going to miss for ball 1. Here's the pitch. That is fouled off, and the count moves to 1-1 on Wilkie. Looking in is Dari Torres. Here's the 1-1. Outside. Did he go? First base umpire Jeff Rose says no.
Yeah, they appealed down, but not enough on that swing to justify saying he went around. And the count moves to 1-1 here.
Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now to the Majors center fielder. Two and two, 2 out. Here's the pitch to Wilkie. That's fouled back towards the screen.
Get another good swing there by Wilkie. Cardinals trying to get out of this inning. The Majors really so far, Dylan, haven't had that big inning. 1 in the second, 2 in the third, another 2 in the fifth, another 2 so far in the 7th.
Here's the 2-2. Wilkie lays off a tough breaking ball. And no, first base umpire Jeff Rose says he swung at that pitch. And that's going to do it for the bottom of the 7th inning. We're through 7 complete here at Labatt Park. Noah Smith back on the call when we come back on Majors TV.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah. I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London. We are back here on Majors TV coverage of the Intercounty Baseball League. And Dylan, the Majors have gone to the bullpen here once again, and Daniel Gore coming into the game.
Yeah, great outing by Anderson Acevedo out of the bullpen. Coming in a tough spot, relieving Fernando Fernandez. Bases loaded, 2 out, gets a huge strikeout, and then shuts down the Cardinals in his next inning of work. So Daniel Gore will come into the contest for the Majors. Gore is working in his 8th contest of the season. He's had 2 starts and 5 relief appearances up to this point. 2-2 record, 1 save in 3 opportunities. This is not a save opportunity for Daniel Gore. 20 strikeouts to 8 walks. And you see it on your screen there. Braden Farrington already beginning to loosen up a little bit in that Majors bullpen.
This might be a situation, Dylan, of kind of a committee pitching to get the Majors through the back half of this ball game. We mentioned 4 games this weekend. They do get the benefit of being off tomorrow, but it's a doubleheader on Sunday and then a game on Monday night. So certainly even with the Majors aces, Owen Boone, Jose Arias, Pedro de los Santos pitching likely in those 3 games, you're still going to need some bullpen innings for sure.
Absolutely you are. And one of the things today that the Majors might do is give Gore and Farrington 1 inning just to make sure nobody's burnt for Sunday when you've got a doubleheader.
First pitch called a strike, and Daniel Gore has himself ahead of the first batter he sees.
Gore not the only substitution for the Majors. A defensive change as Kieran Bowles takes over at third base.
And he'll get into the game right away. A ground ball to third. Throw to 1 in time. So how about that right off the bench for Kieran Bowles?
Great play by Kieran Bowles. That's such a tough play to make, and he made it look routine right there. Coming in on the run throw. He executed that fundamentally so well. When there's a ground ball that you have to charge as an infielder, you want to kind of bring that ball right up to your ear and then throw on the run, sidearm a little bit, and that's exactly what Bowles did right there. Beautifully executed fundamentally, and he gets the first out of the top of the 8th inning.
Great start there for Daniel Gore here in the top of the 8th inning. for Bowles coming into the game. That is always a tough play to get rooted to when you come in as a defensive replacement. The slow roller to third base.
Good pitch there from Daniel Gore as Luis Jean comes up empty on the swing. The helmet comes off. He swung so hard.
Taking their time there. Here is Gore. Ready to go. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one is a breaking ball off the outer portion of the plate. It'll miss, move the count to 1-1. Fouled off as that one ripped down the line and over top of the seats on the first base side. So a fan will go run that one down for a souvenir. Count moves to 1-2. Gore ready once again here on 1-2. Leg kick, delivery, hit on the ground. Bowles getting back into the action again. Throw across the diamond is high. It's off the glove of Byron. And safe at first base on the play.
Hard ground ball towards third base, and Kieran Bowles just overshot his first baseman. Great effort by Byron Reichstein trying to come down with that baseball. Hit off of his glove. I don't know if he threw the glove up at it or if he jumped and.
I think it was just the force of the ball coming across the diamond that knocked his glove out of his hand.
Bowles was very determined to execute a strong throw to first, and the throw was a little bit too strong. It was too high. Byron got up there, and the throw just pulled his glove right off.
Well, and if that doesn't pull his glove off, I think he comes down and they get the out there. So
absolutely.
Tough play. Results in an error charged on the Majors. And now a swing and a miss. A healthy cut at that one by Tyler Duncan. He falls behind 0-1. Majors rolling here into the 8th inning, up 7-0. Cardinals a runner on. As now this one hit off the end of the bat, foul territory down the third base side, and that one will get out of play.
Nearly caught, it looked like, in the bleachers down the third base side, but the fan didn't quite come up with it.
Daniel Gore has himself up in the count 0-2. Duncan's going to have to shorten up on the bat here, down 2 strikes. Here is the 0-2 delivery, hit in the air center field. Ranging back underneath it, and the catch made. 2 gone.
Heard some oohs and ahs from the crowd off the bat. It was hit pretty hard by Tyler Duncan into deep center field, but Austin Wilkie was able to track that baseball very well. Took a couple of steps over and made the grab for the second out of the top of the 8th inning.
So 2 gone after the fly out to deep center. Daniel Gore looking to have a good top half of the 8th inning. Done a pretty good job so far, and now Josh Niles will get sent for another at-bat here, this time in the top of the 8th inning. Pitch, it's a curveball, missing on the outside portion of the plate. Doesn't get Niles to chase, and it's a ball and no strikes. Now the pitch, Mullen throwing back down to 1. Ooh, they almost had him. Byron with the tag, just not in time.
Robert Mullen's done that a few times this season where he'll fire it over to first base and just missing the out there where the Majors, Jean got back with a dive. It was very close, though.
Broken bat, third base, picked up by Bowles. Another strong throw across the diamond. This one's right on the money. And the Majors get out of the top of the 8th inning unscathed. Daniel Gore, a good inning on the mound.
How about that inning for Daniel Gore and for Kieran Bowles over third base? Made the one error on that throw that overshot Byron Reichstein, but was tested right off the bat, executed an on-the-run play very well, and then got the next out and got the final out. Probably didn't get the next out on the error, but then got the final out of the inning to redeem himself and send this game to the bottom of the 8th inning. Majors still leading 7-0.
Yeah, 7-0 lead so far for London, and we welcome you back up here to the Game Day London broadcast booth. Noah Smith and Dylan Baker off to my right. Dylan, a good contest we've been treated to so far tonight. As mentioned, the Majors enjoying a 7-0 lead, but no big innings for the Majors. 2 runs, the most they've scored in an inning at a time. They've just been adding on as this game has gone on.
Yeah, the Majors in this ball game have hit 2 home runs, Cleveland Brownlee and Taylor Wright, and oftentimes when we see those homers, they kind of develop into big innings for the Majors. That hasn't really been the case tonight. They've been chipping away. They've played a lot of small ball as well, some stolen bases, especially early. Jacob Newton had 1, Drew Lawrence had 2, Taylor Wright had 1. So the Majors have been executing very well on all fronts of their game. The pitching, I mean, Fernando Fernandez out there on the mound has been was fantastic, I should say, for the Majors. And the offense has done what they've needed to do. They've scored some runs for the Majors, and they've chipped away. They've been consistent with their offensive output. They've been adding on every inning, it feels like, every couple of innings at least, and it's led to success so far.
Well, the Majors will get ready to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and as we kind of suspected, Stefan Strecker will come in to pitch the 8th for Hamilton.
So the birthday boy comes into the ball game for the Hamilton Cardinals. Stefan Strecker, the native of Dundas, Ontario. And today, Stefan Strecker turns, let's see if my math is quick enough here.
Do your quick math.
Quick math on my calculator. Stefan Strecker today, Noah, turns 43 years old.
And he's still got it. You talked about the ERA this season. Can still pitch and can still pitch effectively.
Strecker, 10 games this year, a 0.81 earned run average, 11 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's given up 8 hits. I mean, Strecker's been tremendous for the Hamilton Cardinals this season. A long-time Brantford Red Sox, switched over to Hamilton in 2019 and has not looked back since with them. He's pitched against the Majors a couple of times this season. Pitched on June 5th through a scoreless inning, allowing 1 hit, and then pitched on June 21st against the Majors through a scoreless inning, allowing 1 hit. The only run he's allowed this season has been against the Brantford Red Sox. On July 13th in Brantford, allowed a run on 1 hit and struck out a batter in that contest.
And now we'll come on to see if he can get the Cardinals through the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 7-0 London Majors lead here on Majors TV. "12 hits for London, 6 for the Hamilton Cardinals.
Jacob Newton will lead things off for London. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game today. Newton has been hit by a pitch, lined out, struck out, and grounded into a fielder's choice. Mentioned how well Newton has been doing in the month of July. Going to look to get into the hit column here in what will likely be his final at-bat of this contest.
Comes in to lead off, as you mentioned, the bottom of the 8th inning. Here for London. Strecker ready, and the first pitch is going to be across for a strike. So he gets ahead, and he's up 0-1.
Stefan Strecker, over the past long while of his IBL career, has had 1 start since 2010. He's been a stellar bullpen piece for those Brantford teams and for the Hamilton Cardinals as well in his time in Hamilton since 2019.
Strecker taking his time on the mound, comes set. And now the delivery to the plate is going to be ripped into left field for a base hit. And Jacob Newton is into the hit column tonight.
So Jacob Newton, as mentioned, Noah, he gets into the hit column there for the Majors. He's had such a great month of July as it begins to wind down. He's got 2 more games to play in the month of July. He's got the doubleheader on Sunday. And Newton getting the hit here, and we'll have a pinch hitter.
So Dan Perrier will come in to take some swings in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And you want to talk about guys who have had great months of July. Noah, Dan Perrier, right at the top of the list. He's had a lot of big home runs, including one in the last trip to Hamilton, a 3-run shot, nearly a grand slam, but Robert Mullen came in to score on a passed ball, as Perrier will take a big hack at that one, come up empty. And Dan is going to look to add on to the Majors lead runner over at first base, nobody out. Perrier in the month of July is hitting .441 behind Newton's .469.
Swings right through that one, 0-2. Perrier 5 home runs on the season for London. 3 of those against the Cardinals.
3 of them in the month of July as well. 17 runs batted in.
0-2, hit on the ground. Shortstop, throw to 2, and holds on in time to get the force out. Bang, bang play at second base, but the Cardinals force out the runner of Newton, and it's a fielder's choice for Dan Perrier.
Really good play there on both ends by Luis Jean and Tristan Osika. Jean making the original sliding play over there at shortstop, throwing it over to Osika, who knew that Newton was barreling towards second base, slid in hard, and Osika had to go on one leg to reach up and make the grab on that one. Did a great job of ensuring his foot stayed on the base. Jean kind of threw it from an awkward position, and it nearly got over the head of the second baseman, but Osika did a great job staying on the base and ensuring that the ball did not get into right field.
So Robert Mullen now will swing in the 8th inning. Rips one on the ground, second base. Flip to 2 in time, back to 1, and they'll double up Robert Mullen to end the 8th inning. The Majors grab a couple of base runners, but the ground balls get the Cardinals out of the inning through 8 complete here in London. It's a 7-0 Majors lead. They'll look to close it out in the 9th on Majors TV.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me.
We go to the 9th here in London. Majors holding on to a 7-0 lead, and it was a good crowd here on Friday night with Fergie Jenkins night at the ballpark. A good chunk of fans still in attendance to take in this one as the Country Roads Take Me Home player over the loudspeakers. And Braden Farrington, Dylan, comes into the ball game to pitch the 9th.
One of my favorite parts of the ball game, Noah, when Country Roads comes on the speakers here at Labatt Park, and the fans certainly enjoying it. The crowd has kind of slimmed down a little bit since the beginning, but still a good crowd on hand on this Friday night to see Fergie Jenkins and the Majors play in this one. And as you mentioned, Braden Farrington on to try to close this one out. Not a save situation for Braden Farrington coming into this contest. 20 in the third innings this season, 12 games pitched. He's 1-0 with a save in his one opportunity. He's allowed 3 earned runs this season. The earned run average hovering around the 1 mark. It's at 1.3 approximately right now for the Majors. He's been one of the most stellar and consistent relievers for the Majors this season, and he'll look to put this one officially in the win column for London.
Top of the 9th inning here at Labatt Memorial Park on a lovely Friday night here in the Forest City. We thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching from tonight. A lot of fans around the globe turning in to see the Majors a 7-0 lead heading to the 9th inning. 7 runs on 13 hits so far for London.
Noah, do we have a subscriber update yet?
I haven't checked. We told the fans to get us to 800 and we'd give
$7.99.
them $7.99. We need one more. You heard that, Majors fans. If one of you out there isn't subscribed yet and you're watching, hit that subscribe button as Braden Farrington gets ready to kick-start the top of the 9th inning. First pitch is across for a strike to get us underway here in the 9th.
Braden Farrington will have to face Lane Renault, Ryan Burnside, and Anthony Bonaiuto. Renault so far in the ball game 0 for 3. Came up to the plate with the bases loaded against Anderson Acevedo and struck out. A huge strikeout for Acevedo in that at-bat.
Farrington takes something off that one, a big cut. And it's now 0-2 on Lane Renault. Farrington going to look for a big punch out here. Grabs his sign. Here is the 0-2 delivery, and it bounced in the dirt on the breaking ball. Doesn't get a chase from Renault. 1-2.
Good pitch there from Braden Farrington. Did not tempt Renault enough to get him to swing and miss at that pitch. It was low and outside.
Another chance here for Farrington, this time on 1-2. Curveball hit on the ground, and that one will roll into left field for a base hit. Renault starts off the 9th for the Cardinals by getting on base with a leadoff single.
A good job by Lane Renault there to get on base. He fell behind against Braden Farrington pretty quickly, went down 0-2, was taking some big hacks, coming up empty, and then eventually laid off a tough pitch low and outside, and then ripped a single between the shortstop and third baseman for a base hit. And Renault stands over at first base.
Good start to the inning for the Cardinals here in the top of the 9th inning. Farrington ready, checks on the runner. No movement, the fastball's across for a strike, and Farrington once again just pounding the strike zone, gets ahead 0-1. It's Ryan Burnside here, nobody out. Look, the righty deals. Fastball inside. Has Mulling lunging to keep it away from the backstop. 1-1.
Burnside in the contest so far has grounded out twice and singled. He would love to move Renault up to second base if possible here. Maybe even get a ball deep enough into the gap to try to score him.
Farrington grabs his sign from Mullen. The 1-1 delivery, a cut and fouled off at the plate. A ball and 2 strikes now.
So Farrington ahead of Burnside now, 1-2. Would love to get a strikeout here, one of the better hitters in this Hamilton order.
Still looking for out number 1. Farrington, the 1-2 delivery. Here's the leg kick. Curveball on the ground, second base. Shovel to 2. Throw back to 1. In time. Double play. 2 gone.
Really good play there by the Majors. Good job by Braden Farrington inducing that ground ball. Newton to Reichstein for the double play. 4-6-3, just how you drew it up if you're the London Majors, and now 2 outs in this 9th inning.
Leadoff single, and Farrington rolls himself a double play ball. First pitch outside, called a strike. He gets ahead 0-1 now.
Anthony Bonaiuto at the plate for the Hamilton Cardinals. He's been the left fielder in this contest for Hamilton. Has made some good plays out there, and is 1 for 3 at the plate.
Curveball, end of the bat. Shallow left field. Going to be a tough play. No one's going to have a shot as it drops beyond third base. Just a bloop over top of the head of Kieran Bowles, and there's a runner on with 2 gone.
Sometimes those pop flies just find the perfect spots, and right there over the head of Kieran Bowles into left field, drops in for a 2-out base hit for Anthony Bonaiuto, and that'll go down as a base hit, but Braden Farrington couldn't have possibly executed his pitch any better. I mean, that's exactly what you want if you're Braden Farrington. A very weakly hit pop fly, just could not get over could not get it into the glove of any of his infielders.
So Farrington once again working from the stretch with a runner on. Healthy cut at that one, but he gets a swing and a miss for strike one. Jeremy Veilleux at the dish here for Hamilton. Farrington again, the righty, delivers, swing and a miss on the curveball, 0-2.
That's what Farrington does so well. He mixes his pitches very well. A great curveball right there by the Majors right-hander, and he's ahead of a 0-2 with 2 outs in the ninth.
Fans in the ballpark on their feet. Farrington has an 0-2 count. Curveball in the dirt, blocked by Mullen. Good layoff there by Veilleux. Didn't offer, and it's 1-2.
Great take there by Jeremy Veilleux. Leaving that pitch in the dirt. Farrington tried to put him away with it, but no dice, and now he'll have to attack again here on 1-2. We'll see if he varies what he comes with, or if he tries to put him away with that sharp breaking ball.
Stepped off on the mound. Farrington ready once again. 1-2 pitch in the dirt again. Couldn't get the chase from Veilleux, and it's 2-2.
So Mullen and Farrington doubled up with that same pitch. That one a little less sharp break on it. Didn't bounce in the dirt, but a great block by Robert Mullen to keep it in front of him. And now you'd imagine he comes with something different. I doubt he goes back to back to back with that breaking ball.
2-2. Curveball. Called strike 3, and the ball game is over. Majors win 7-0 here on Friday night to kickstart a busy weekend. It's Braden Farrington closing it out. The pitchers, a combined shutout here against the Hamilton Cardinals. And the Majors win 7-0.
Just a fantastic ball game from beginning to end by the London Majors. Right off the bat, we had Fernando Fernandez getting the start. Noah, you and I talked before the game. We weren't really sure what to expect from Fernando Fernandez in this contest, but he was tremendous on the mound for the Majors, going 5 2/3 scoreless, turning things over to Anderson Acevedo, who came in a tough spot. Bases loaded, 2 outs, punch out. Huge out for the Majors. Kept the momentum on their side, gets through the 6th inning, and then a great job by Daniel Gore coming out of the bullpen, and Braden Farrington as well to finish things off.
So many times guys come in there, and a guy like Fernandez, you know the stuff he has. Fantastic stuff on the mound. He just needed a chance to showcase it. He did that tonight. A fantastic pitching performance, and everybody after him out of the bullpen just continuing on what he started. The Majors with a 7-0 shutout win here to kickstart what is a busy weekend. They'll head to Kitchener on Sunday for a doubleheader, and then back here on Monday against the Brantford Red Sox for a little Monday night action on the holiday Monday. That does it for our coverage here of the Intercounty Baseball League and London Majors Baseball. The Majors victorious here, 7-0 over the Hamilton Cardinals. And oh wait, Dylan, there's more. Put it on back up to the press box camera here, gentlemen. We forgot the high five for the 800 subscribers. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. That does it for our coverage here of London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV. From our production crew, myself, Dylan Baker, and everybody here with London Majors, we say thank you for watching with us tonight, and we'll see you Monday night here from Labatt.